Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're all having a wonderful Sunday. Just thought I'd do a quick stream and see how everyone's doing. That was before I knew Scotty was going to have one, which, if you didn't catch it, it was an awesome stream. And, it's going to be an open chat, open discussion. Maybe something you heard. I know I found a funny video today where the Democrats are now essentially sterilizing themselves for the save the environment thing, which I personally think is awesome. They should sterilize themselves because then their stupid ideas end with them. Good call. Anyway, we'll bring in Brother Outlaw. Hello, sir.
Hello.
How is everyone?
I am great. How about you, sir?
Oh, fantastic. Just say hello to everybody in the chat today. Mr. Tom, good to see you again, sir. Who else we got? Mr. Hemi's here. From Mouth Agape Ape. Hopefully he'll come on and share his beard of truth and wisdom with us. Brother D-Man, good to see you. Brother JR. Celine? I believe she's from Good Mother's channel, isn't she?
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought it was pretty fucking funny when I heard the Democrats were sterilizing themselves so that they could save the environment.
Oh man, what won't they do, dude?
Honestly, there's a reason why I like the Steven character and the idea of, what was a slave or what is a slave. Is there different types of slaves? And clearly there are. I mean, I think I mentioned to you guys the other night on Father Saunders' stream that I was watching something that was like 3 years old from David Icke. And, he mentioned it plain out right there that the best way to control a large population or even a global scale population is to have them enslave themselves, which is exactly what Democrats push: personal enslavement, division, and enslavement. You don't need to do anything else.
Yep.
So I guess at the end of this, the strong will inherit the earth. Bonus.
Absolutely.
Actually,
I talked about a lot of this in a video I did today. I just haven't uploaded yet. But yeah, man, I mean, that's why they push us all to go to school in these indoctrination camps, right? And you're there against your will for 8.5 hours a day, however long school lasts, and you basically as a kid have no choice but to learn what they teach you. So
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's all indoctrination, man. All of it. Indoctrination, conditioning. But I mean, Jesus Christ, watching a video that was 3 years old, and like I said, the idea kind of bounced back in my head because of fucking Hemi and what he said about Ontario citizens basically being willing to just hand over everything if you tell them, right?
Yeah.
Like they're just so quick to submit to anyone who basically even poses as a person of authority. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That it's like, yeah, that kind of reminds me of something I seen once, and I had to go digging for it, obviously. And I was like, Jesus Christ, 3 years ago, they were fucking spitting this out word for word like it was written down in a fucking book. We're living in a novel.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Craziness.
Well, it's a numbers game, right? I mean, there's maybe not too many people in society that's awake like we are. And, the more the generations come and go, the more that they're stacking up, indoctrinating people against people like you and me. So, I mean, it's a numbers game, in my opinion.
Absolutely. And this fucking cancel culture, all part of it, right?
Yep.
Because if you won't join us, we have to make sure that you can never fucking speak out to anybody else. Right?
Yep.
Like, I mentioned the other day that I wanted somebody to do a voiceover, either intro or exit.
Yeah.
And because we focus on MGTOW, red pill, and men's issues and stuff. He was like, I can't do it. I literally can't do it. I will be
Mm.
eaten alive by the fucking woke culture. And he said, I'm running down the middle, right?
Yeah.
Like he has no choice. It's sort of like how Eric was talking about the police officers, essentially you have a mortgage, you have mouths to feed, so you have to follow their fucking what they want you to do,
Yep.
and harass the public, because without them, you lose everything, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, where does this fear come from? Because, I pointed this out in the video today that I was going to put on the channel, but for some reason I didn't get around to it. What are we so afraid of, guys? I mean, there's not that many of these people out here, right?
Not
What
only
what
that,
are we afraid of?
but if you're worried about your identity, right? Which obviously I'm not,
Right.
because yes, I have a different situation than most, but at the same time, if you allow this to affect you, and someone you're working for is allowing it to affect the people under him, like if somebody came to me and said, okay, you work for me as an employee.
Hmm.
Somebody comes to me and says, oh, your employee is a rapist or whatever the fucking case may be. You have to fire him because of woke culture. My natural response to them is go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Tell you what,
Exactly.
you go start a fucking business, you hire whoever the fuck you want, and you fire whoever the fuck you want. Until then,
Right.
fuck off. I want no part of it. Right. But when
Right.
these companies give over to that, like, who was it recently? Somebody got like one complaint, and they were sponsoring I believe a YouTube channel, but they got one complaint from some wokist, right?
Yep.
They dropped that person as a sponsor and then made a public fucking announcement, basically, you know, uh, playing into the woke culture. I apologize for whatever I've done wrong, even though I've done nothing, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And they literally ruined their own company. Like,
Yeah. I don't
ruined
get
it
it either, man.
for one
I
fucking
really
complaint,
don't.
dude.
I really don't. I don't understand it. I used to be a big watcher of, I guess, do you guys know who Ethan Klein is, H3H3?
Yeah, well, there's another fucking tool that went fucking all wokish,
Right.
right? He plays
I
for the
used to watch
establishment.
him. Right. I used to watch him religiously back in the day. She called on our side, so to speak, with calling out all this crap. But,
Yeah, now he's
there's
part of it.
something to it when there's something to it, like when you go from talking out against the establishment to suddenly now you're one of the biggest woke leftist people on the entire internet. There's something to that.
Not only that, but he can call out for fucking acts of violence, right? He wanted someone to
Right.
blow up the NRA meeting just recently. He got a week-long suspension. A week-long suspension. If we were to do
Wow.
that, we'd never see fucking YouTube again. The FBI would be at our fucking doors.
Exactly. Well, it's like Oprah Winfrey. I mean, not Oprah. Whoopi Goldberg. Sorry.
Yeah,
The threat she made. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Stupid shit that's falling out of their fucking mouths.
Oh
They
my
don't believe
God, man.
any of this shit. It's just, but because they can, right? Cancel culture is a thing that we allow to happen. We don't
Yep.
like it, we don't support it, but we allow it to happen.
Yep.
The beard of MGTOW. Hello, sir.
What's happening?
How you doing, buddy?
Brother
Good.
Shinobi's in the chat.
I am great, sir.
Pants are on, I hope.
Oh, absolutely.
I generally wear streaming PJs because they're comfy, but I'm not wearing them right now.
They don't come off till the energy in the video gets high, man.
Oh.
Pants off, huh?
Then it's fat time.
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to say to Mitchell, how dare you accuse YouTube of playing favoritism?
Oh, yeah, I know. Well, they do.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny
Uh,
because if you hadn't noticed, we had to change the intro a bit, right? And Ike was good enough to touch it up for me and change things out. The red picture I actually wanted, but we had to add the original creator of the soundtrack, because there are these groups or individuals that have YouTube channels and all they do is copyright shit, right?
mhm.
So they try to copyright shit so that if you're monetized, they get a portion of that monetization. Completely fucking fake bullshit. YouTube
Oh
has
yeah.
allowed the one that hit me for 14 fucking years. 14 years. But I can't say anything about COVID, how it's a huge scam. But we can
So they
allow
just have
But
fucking
people that are poaching
yeah,
copyright infringements, and they get paid for it.
yes.
yeah, yeah,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
yeah. And
Damn, I'm in the
this
wrong
one's
business. I had to work today.
yeah, no, this one's been going on for like fucking 14 years, dude. And it's like,
Oh yeah.
holy shit. You allow this stuff, but you don't allow like free speech. It's like, what the
And
fuck?
and I have heard of people who wrote their own tunes who got copyright infringement. Now explain that one.
Well, and I know that this person is not connected to the group that I actually pulled this song from, which I have no problem with them doing it. But they
Yeah.
can go on there and do the copywriting on behalf of someone else. And it's all scams.
Yeah.
Well, people can get offended on behalf of somebody else. I don't see why anything else would be different.
Yeah, I suppose, eh?
You could be a heterosexual Caucasian male, and someone else would take offense to that isn't. So,
Yeah.
Mm.
and then
Well,
try to cancel you.
I just thought it was fucking hilarious. It's like this channel that tried to hit me on behalf of the actual soundtrack owner, right?
Yep.
Has been operating as clearly phoning, because no matter where you go, you're just linking to another YouTube channel, all owned by the same Russian bot, right?
Mhm.
Or scammer. And they have allowed the operation of this for 14 years, but yet the person who created the track would not fucking probably copyright me for the fucking 30 or 1 minute and 30-second intro. You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
they still have a section there, like an actual section where they can say it's on behalf of. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
me saying, well, if Mouse Gabe 8 played something from Outlaw, right? Even if I didn't know him, I can go say, well, I'm going to take your monetization fees for what you put out there on behalf of him. So he doesn't get fuck
Yeah.
all. I collect it. It's
Yeah.
like you allow
Oh,
this shit to happen.
It's like people that buy domain names.
Yeah. Well,
They'll come out and they'll come up with some domain name and they'll get it, and then they'll try to basically extort the person that domain name would go to,
right.
try to sell it to them, and make a buck.
Well, I mean,
Mhm.
that happened in the .com boom, right?
Yeah.
People just fucking quickly got on and started, taking down trademarks for common names or popular fucking things that were going on at the time, like movie titles. Hell, I've got one. Dinner is Coming. Where do you think that's from? Take a guess. Really, guys? You don't watch Game of Thrones?
Only holes?
No, Game of Thrones. Winter is
Oh,
Coming.
I've never watched it, so I have no idea.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. You poor
Yeah, I
depraved
don't
child.
Yeah,
I haven't either, man.
I got
What?
divorced a year and a half ago. I got rid of cable. I haven't watched TV in a year and a half.
Yeah, I got
Okay,
rid
but
of it
this-
probably. God, I probably got rid of it about 10 years ago.
You guys haven't watched any of Game of Thrones. This is like 10 years old, man.
Never seen a minute of it.
Oh my
I know what
God.
it is. It's what is that
I know
guy's
what it-
name? What is the miniature guy's name? The actor, the midget guy.
Oh, Peter Dinklage.
Right. I remember him. That's about it.
Yeah, Tyrion Lannister, which I think he did a fantastic job. Fantastic.
Yeah.
And I have to be honest with you, most of the cast was great. It's just that last season they really fucking dropped the ball. Like they just wanted out. You could tell they made their money, they wanted out, and they just fucking threw it all in the trash. But it's sad.
Kind of like Hollywood. I think I was on a stream with somebody. We're talking about movies. It might have been Scotty. I can't remember, but or Saunders. But I think the last movie I went to was oh geez, now I just forgot his name. Deadpool.
Oh yeah. Okay, so let's take that for example. Deadpool. What's Deadpool's most iconic term or phrase?
Well, it has to be something homophobic.
No, it's maximum effort.
Hmm.
So if I were to go and fucking trademark maximumeffort.com or something like that, I'm doing it knowing that somebody else is really going to want to promote something with that name, and I'll sell them that title just because I got there first. Right?
Yeah, I've got a buddy that got a domain name for a local radio station here, and nobody had ever thought of it or whatever, and he went and got it. I think it was like a GoDaddy deal. You could buy a domain name, and he did it. So anybody that tries to get on this radio station sees some of his fishing pictures when he goes to the lake.
Yeah, I mean, you can literally charge them $0.25 for every time they say it. What's up, Mr. Doug?
Hey, Chris, how are you today, man?
Oh, not too bad. We've got the power back. So if anything gets laggy, guys, I might be still a bit laggy. I forgot to mention that because we lost power here. But it's back on, obviously.
Mr. Doug.
Mr.
Doug, good to meet you, brother.
Hey, good to meet you too, man. Hi, mouth agape ape.
Agape.
I have that southern slang in my voice. You guys have some mercy on me. I appreciate it.
Hey, I do too, man.
And I love Game of Thrones. Love it. I just wrapped it up for the second time through.
Yeah, unfortunately, season 8 sucked balls. Oh,
I got mixed feelings about it.
That broke my fucking heart, dude.
I think the last movie I watched in theaters was probably Fast 5.
Fast 5?
A little bit ago.
The one with the bank vaults they drag behind the cars.
Oh, I have no idea what the hell.
I think I saw the first one and maybe the second one.
Yeah.
The Vin Diesel, Paul Walker series.
Mm-hmm.
Cars.
Car movies. Fast and the Furious?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I actually.
Yeah, they have like 17 of them now, so 5 was a long time ago.
Yeah. I've only seen the first 2.
Paul Walker's making just as many Fast and the Furious dead as he was alive.
No,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. CGI, you could put him in every one of them if you wanted to.
Well, here's a fun fact. Anybody know of the movie Gladiator?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember the guy who played Proximo? The one who was the slave holder, essentially.
Is he the same guy from Sons of Anarchy?
No.
No, okay.
No. He was the one who bought Russell Crowe and, kind of helped him escape and stuff.
Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix.
No, not Joaquin Phoenix. He played the Emperor.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, but he's the old guy. He died like a quarter of the way through that movie. Everything else that he was in was all CGI'd, and that was like, what, 25 years ago now?
Well, look what happened in The Crow, the movie The Crow.
Yeah, The Crow. There's an even better example. Brandon Lee.
Yeah, Brandon Lee got killed, and then they had a body double that would do some of the stunts and stuff. But I think the mirror where he busts the mirror, he's looking in the mirror and he breaks it when he realizes he knows he's dead. And he breaks that mirror, and all the shards of glass are showing his reflection. That was all, I believe, CGI of a still of Brandon Lee when in full makeup.
Well, he got shot on the table scene, if I remember right.
Yeah.
When he jumped up on the table where the guys were sitting around, and then somebody took a shot at him, and he fell off the table, right?
Yeah,
In
it
the
was
movie, he fell off the table and then jumped back up. He was actually shot there.
It
or
was
on the stairs.
Drug addict that was sleeping with the little girl's mom.
Oh, right.
There was the guy that laughed all the time. I can't remember his name.
Holy Jesus! I haven't thought
Yeah,
about
he
that
was
movie in a while.
He ended up. That was a suspicious type deal, and then Alec Baldwin goes and does it 30 years later.
Yeah. Oh,
Same
yeah.
type of deal,
We shouldn't
you
laugh
know.
about that one.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see him put that post out? How Hollywood actors have decreased movie violence and guns?
Yeah.
No.
I was like, "Are you kidding me, you hypocrite?"
Yeah.
Wow.
And the Baldwin's mom just passed away like a week ago. Old Mama Baldwin.
Yeah. Oh, that's tragic. No, whatever happened with Eric Baldwin and whatever happened on the episode of Rust there, the set of Rust. I mean, nothing was done right, clearly. You know.
Yeah.
Whether or not this chick that was supposed to be their armor was fucking allowing people to bring live ammunition on, or didn't double check the firearms, whatever the case may be. Everything was done wrong.
Yeah, most movie guns, they're not wouldn't be able to fire a live round of ammo because they have barrels that are blanked out, or they'll have a smaller diameter hole in them. The chambers won't fit. You know, they have movie guns that you can see the bullets in the end of it in the chamber, you know, in the cylinder. You know, that's a one gun, but the one that they should be shooting is actually set up differently, and a lot of them have primers that aren't like a center fire primer. They'll be off to the side a little bit, so you couldn't negligently discharge that gun. So, but if they had 45 Colts and they were shooting live rounds in between, and then
came back.
It never got checked, and then he just goes and rips one off and shoots two people with one shot. I mean, and then he tries to hide it and tries to downplay it, and then he says he didn't do it. It wasn't his fault. Well, he was the one that pulled the trigger. You had to pull a hammer back. You can't fire a single action revolver. It doesn't fire it itself. And he said he never pulled the hammer back and never pulled the trigger.
Yeah, he's full of shit, isn't he?
Yeah, I call bullshit.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
Yeah.
Well, it's like this, gentlemen. If that incident, as tragic as it was, and I don't care where side you're coming from, you're right, Abe. I mean, if I were to buy a replica today, they have a plate welded into the barrel halfway down, not so that you can see it by just a side glance at the chamber, but if you look down it, there's actually a spot welded plate in there, so that you.
Or they'll have a blanking plate that'll have holes in it, so you
can't fire.
So it can
safely.
go right. It wouldn't allow a bullet to travel down the barrel, but it'll allow the gas pressure from a blank to come out.
Yeah, and I mean they weigh the same as a real gun. Obviously, they're machined pretty much the same way, but they have methods to clearly make them non-operational, right? That's one thing.
And a blank can kill somebody too. I mean, that's what supposedly got Brandon Lee was they had a close-up scene with where you could see the bullets in the chamber. Well, I don't know why that would have a primer in it, but apparently somebody discharged it. That bullet got lodged halfway down the barrel, and then they put blanks in there. And when he touched that blank off, it had enough power to launch that slug out, and that's what killed it.
I didn't think
that should have never have happened.
I thought it was a piece of material that came out of a previous blank that was stuck in there.
Well, they said it was what I'd seen. It was basically a show bullet. You know, when you look at the end of the revolver and they're pointing it at the camera. Yeah. Well,
could have been.
It didn't have powder in it, but they still had primers. Well, you shoot a primer off in a casing, and it's got power.
Oh yeah, just the
And it
primer alone.
supposedly lodged it like a third of the way down the barrel. Well, then nobody checked the barrel and cleared the weapon when they went, and changed sets or whatever, and then came along and did that. But there was a TV show years ago, and it had a tall blonde guy and a little short dark-haired kid, and I think it was called The Wanderers. Or they would go back in time. And it was a TV show. It was on for like 1 or 2 seasons. They'd go back in time and they'd change history, because something bad was going to happen or something like that.
Quantum Leap?
That sounds like Quantum Leap.
No, it was kind of like Quantum Leap, but it was before that.
Oh,
but
wow.
the blonde guy, the blonde guy, he was messing around with a prop gun. It was a prop 44 mag. And it had blanks in it, and he was messing around. One of their scenes, they must have had somebody that was shooting at him or something. And he was messing around offset, and he put that 44 mag up to his head like that, and thought it'd be funny to touch it off, and it had a blank in it, and it killed him.
Oh,
well, yeah. I mean, the pressure alone can, if it's pressed up against the head, is enough.
It cracked his skull, and he got an instant brain bleed, and he died. But I can't remember the name of I thought it was called The Wanderers or something like that, but it was back in the it had to have been early to mid 80s. But that's another person that got killed by a prop gun. Yeah, well, it happened.
It does happen.
Not careful.
But like I said, when you're using a real firearm, right?
Yeah.
Not a mock-up one, not a fucking, something that's capped in or whatever the case may be. It's the real deal, and you're firing actual blanks out of it. To bring live ammunition onto that fucking set, I think, is probably the second dumbest thing you can do. The first dumbest would be to actually put it into one of those guns. As far as I'm concerned, these prop guns should never see a piece of live ammunition or like actual ammunition in them. You bought it for a prop for a set. It's meant to fire nothing but blanks, right? That is all that should ever go in.
Her father, the girl that was the gun wrangler, her dad is the armorist. Her dad is a professional armorist too. I think that's how she got into the business, and he may be a competitive shooter too. I don't remember, but he worked on movies doing that too. That's how she got it.
Goddamn outlaw, that's loud.
Yeah, man, I'm outside, dude.
That's all good, buddy. But she's been on another set where she had the same kind of thing happen. So
I don't think she'll be on a third one.
Yeah, I'm hoping not. I can't remember who it was. Was it Keanu Reeves? Somebody else. I can't remember. I know we've seen the video though where he's freaking out because there was a fucking live round or something in that firearm and they discharged it.
Oh man.
Yeah. And it was like right by his ear or something, so it fucking got quite the blast in the ear.
Keanu Reeves trains with Taron Butler from Taron Tactical, and there's videos on YouTube of him and
this was on set. This was on set.
Yeah, maybe but I'm saying that he's a person that knows how to handle a weapon. He can shoot competitively 3-gun if he wanted to. So yeah, I could understand him flipping out. Because a lot of Hollywood people, they have no idea. They say, which end do I hold? I mean, they're actors. They don't know how to use a gun.
Well, I mean, even the ones that do, like you're using a firearm in pretend land here. The last thing this firearm should be close to is fucking actual live rounds.
Yes.
Yeah. Right? Like
it shouldn't be making that loud bang.
Yeah, the second dumbest mistake was bringing live ammunition to where fucking prop guns are being held. That stays away from there, right? I don't bring TNT to a fucking firework display. No. Right? Yeah. Right? Wouldn't you agree?
No, I think TNT. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But now if I said, fuck it, well, I'll bring it on set and we'll blow shit up later. And then I send somebody to fucking like load up shells and stuff and be like, maybe this is one of those shells, and they drop that fucker in there. Is that his fault or is that my fault for bringing that shit to the fucking firework display? You know,
Absolutely.
hey man, I've seen lots of fucking barge fireworks displays go fucking wrong. I can't imagine how wrong it would go if a piece of TNT went off. You know what I mean?
Oh man, I had a black
Man.
hat blow up in my hand when I was 13. That was enough to like rattle me.
Yeah, I mean, like stupid shit happens when people do stupid shit.
Hey, Doug, the Black
Dude.
Cat motto is safe and sane, so it couldn't have hurt you.
No,
Yeah.
it just made my ear ring pretty loud for a minute. Made me jump out of my pants. That's about it.
We used to get those packs of lady fingers and black cats. We'd always go to the Indian reservation because they always had the best fireworks.
Mm.
And you could buy 12 dozen bottle rockets for $5.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
And then
Man, I
M80s were always $1 a piece.
Nice.
I always
I need to
liked the
find-
little poppers that you could sneak up on people with and just pop.
I
Scared
need to
cats.
find those. I need to find those videos of those guys shooting bottle rockets off them street box on the interstate. Have you guys seen that?
I have
Mm.
not.
No.
There's that they'll take firecrackers and bottle rockets and put them on street box and stuff and shoot them at cars on the interstates.
Why?
I need to find those. I have no idea. I need to
Are
find
they
those
fucking
videos.
stupid or crazy? Like,
Yeah.
where's the line being drawn there, gentlemen? Where's the line being drawn?
You're asking for trouble there. I talked to a guy one time that he walked over on an overpass across Interstate 90,
Mhm.
and he had a brick in his hand, and these cars were coming along at 65 miles an hour, and he's tossing this brick in his hand like this so they can see him. And then as soon as they'd come up there, he'd drop the brick, and he had a Twinkie in his hand, and he chucked a Twinkie down onto their windshield.
Dude, you're asking for a fucking. That's cruising for a bruising, as we used to say.
Yeah.
You're asking for a fucking ass kicking.
It's like 3/4 of a mile to the exits to get off, and you're going, you're on the interstate.
Yeah.
You can't stop and go chase this kid. But I thought, oh my God, if state trooper seen you do that, or you caused a wreck,
Oh yeah, you're in some trouble.
because you think a brick's coming through your windshield, so you swerve to miss it, and it's a damn Twinkie.
Yeah, well, especially on the fucking interstate with other traffic going at mock fucking chicken, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, no, that kid needs a good fucking ass kicking.
He's probably not even alive anymore. Probably
Oh.
stupid people don't live a long time unless they're really tough.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true. Or they're in like isolated areas, I guess.
Yeah, the
Urban.
wilds of Canada.
Yeah. Oh, the wilds of Canada, gentlemen. Let me tell you about the wilds of Canada. There's a lot of it. That's about all I know.
Where's Dak been? Has he been going to hockey games every night or what?
I have no idea. No idea, man. I sent him the message that we were going on. I sent him the link and whatnot, so he'll probably pop in.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I was talking with Eric and Frank last night after stream. We were talking about the fucking wolves and stuff up here, right? It's like, you see it in the movies, and yes, I understand this is movie thing, but you see them like circling your camp, right? Or like a backpacker's tent site or whatever. And that's true. They will do that in the deep forest. The ones that are not used to humans, they'll do that. And they don't like the smell of fire. So if you have a campfire going, they don't like the smell of that, and they're very curious, right? So they're cautious. So they will like circle around you. But the ones closer to cities that are used to people, right?
Yeah.
No, they don't wait for you to notice them. They just fucking come right in there, right? And you're not gonna go out like people that don't take weapons with them going out thinking maybe they'll just throw their hands up in the air and scream real loud and it'll scare them off. It's like, you're fucking dumb, buddy. You just announced that your fucking dinner bell's ready. That's all you just did. It's like, you don't fucking wait for them to come in and eat your ass or
Man.
try to scare them off with little poppers or something like that. These fucking things are used to people. They're used to noises. They don't give two fucks, right? And the
I had a
deep
cousin that was a teacher up in Alaska. She was up there for 1 or 2 years, and it was a place called New Stoyahawk, and you had to get in there by plane. And once every 2-3 weeks, if the weather's good, you'd phone in and order, and they'd drop your food or land on the river and deliver your groceries.
Yeah.
Well, her and a friend of hers were going caribou hunting, and they were out in the trying to shoot a couple caribou, and they didn't see any. Well, they got turned around and didn't know where their four-wheeler was.
Oh, Jesus.
So they spent the night, and she said they basically slept back to back.
Yep.
And both had their rifles loaded because wolves come in.
Yeah.
And he said you could hear them and you could see them walking around, and they just sat there and circled around them. Well, the next morning when they woke up, a herd of caribou had walked through because they were migrating. They basically walked through, and there was like 40 of them that had just laid down and slept around them. She says, I woke up and looked around, and I'm surrounded by caribou.
Yeah. No,
she said that was the only thing that kept those wolves off of them, because there were so many caribou there.
Yeah, like I said, man, the deep woods wolves, the ones that are not used to people, they will sniff around because they're being cautious, right? But there's a big group of them, and they are just kind of checking you out. But once they don't think you're something too dangerous, like you're just another fucking caribou to them, you're just smaller. You know what I mean? They will fucking pounce in there and eat your ass. And it won't be 1 or 5. It'll be like 15 or fucking 20 of them. So, yeah, like you were saying, I was thinking, okay, if there's 2 of them out there and they're lost back to back, nice, as big of an open area as you can get, because you don't want these fuckers to be able to sneak through the bush and come up on you. You want an
That's
open
basically
area.
what they were in rolling tundra.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, there wasn't. She said there wasn't a tree that she said you couldn't climb a tree or anything. She said there was nothing out there.
There's no point in climbing a tree. They'll outweight you. Unless you got a radio or somebody knows where the fuck you are, or you go, they know you're missing, they'll outweight you. Days. They'll fucking stop.
Yeah, they don't
you
have
up in
nothing
that tree
better
for
to do.
Days. Yeah. They have nothing better to do. Yeah, no, you don't fuck with those things. Like I said, you start seeing wolves coming around you, you fucking start shooting.
Have you been out and around them, Chris?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, homie. Don't worry. I was tempted to set my quad on fire once.
Oh god.
Yeah. Just to get a bigger fire going. Because everything was soaking wet, right? So I wasn't going out much outside of a small campfire. But I think I killed like 4 or 5 of them before I stopped.
Gosh.
And they still didn't go that far. I could still hear them out in the fucking distance, maybe about a quarter of a kilometer away. Because now they were out there fucking, calling to the ones that I killed, right?
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, they still were willing to come in. If I had if I'd let my guard down, without a doubt, they would have tried again. Without a doubt.
There's some pretty good YouTube videos. There's a couple of guys on YouTube. One guy's in Montana and the other one's in Idaho, I believe. And they've had a bunch of wolves that they've shot.
Yeah.
And hunting them, they've got a license. You can get so many of them a year, and they're calling them in. And then another guy I think he was elk hunting and he was bow hunting, and he was cow calling, and 2 wolves came in and he got both of them with his bow.
Nice.
I think it was the alpha male and female of the pack, because he said you could hear the pack farther off, but the 2 top dogs came in and he laced an arrow through one and the other one's watching it flop around, and then he got a shot on the other one and he got it on film. It was pretty impressive how this guy got 2 alpha predators, put them down with a bow and arrow.
You'd be surprised what you can do when you got a spike of adrenaline.
Yeah.
Things come into real focus. Things come into focus. You almost end up with like unnatural fucking abilities. But yeah, I think when they first came into about 15 feet, That was when I first opened up with my 12 gauge, and I emptied 7 rounds, and I took 5 of them. Now I was buckshot, right? But 15 feet ain't that fucking far away. So
No.
trust me, it opened the one up, dude, and almost split them in half. But generally, like, you get a few pellets in them. But yeah, I
Now-
emptied that fucker.
If you're using bird shot in the same situation, that's probably not going to do any damage, is it?
Oh no, 10, 15 feet away, it still doesn't open up much.
No.
It doesn't open up much.
No,
You're
it'll
still basically
punch a
hitting them.
hole in the side of them you could put your fist in.
Okay.
Yeah. But the one, like, dude, fucking people don't realize how big these animals are. You know what I mean? Like, you see the ones in TV or on shows and stuff, and they look small.
Well, yeah,
They're
you look at a
not.
timber wolf, how big a timber wolf is compared to, some of the other ones. I've seen some smaller wolves at zoos and conservatories, but yeah, you get a dog that's, 140 pounds, 150. I think they have some of them, those big ones up in Canada. Don't they get about close to 200, Chris?
Oh yeah. Well, the ones we were baiting, well, the day shift was baiting for us on the night shift, the fuckers. But we were up doing some wells, like well testing up in Alberta there, northern Alberta. And the paw prints in the snow were bigger than my hand. So
That's a big pup.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, and of course the day shift being a bunch of fuckheads, right? They're throwing out like pepperoni and hot dogs and shit, right? Trying to get, because the one guy was like, "Oh fuck, I'd love to shoot one of those," right? And he brought his rifle, but we didn't get to take a rifle with us on the night shift, and that's when the fuckers were most active. So at one point, we were pulling the pickup truck right up next to the wellhead, opening the door, doing our testing, grabbing our samples and whatnot, and closing the door and driving back to camp. We didn't even really fully get out of the truck because
I was drinking beer with a guy down here one time, and he was working power lines, high lines up in Alaska, and he'd go up there for about a month or 2 months, and then he'd come home for a month. And this was fly in with a helicopter type deal. And we're drinking beer, and he's got a couple of wolf pelts hanging on the wall, and the nose was touching the ceiling, and the tails were almost touching the floor.
Yeah.
And I said, I know those aren't coyote pelts. I said, those are wolf pelts. And then you could see where they had they got to put a tag on them, and they run it through the eye socket, basically the eye hole.
Yeah.
And
the jaw.
And yeah, because they were just the top pelt, all fleshed out and done and tanned and everything. And he goes, I said, "Where'd you get those?" He goes, "Oh, up in Alaska." I said, "Oh, really?" And he was talking to me about his job, and he goes, "Oh yeah." He says, "If you want to, you can shoot them like coyotes up there." I was like, "Jeez." They were beautiful hides too. I mean, I couldn't believe how big they were.
Well, I mean, even here in BC, like when the oil rig guys go up north, they're up in the mountains and stuff, or mountain ranges. They're all left a rifle. The rifle's sitting in the doghouse. Basically, they're waiting for, they're giving them a rifle, and you got free range on whatever comes on the property, right? Whatever comes on the oil well lease. Yeah, you shoot whatever the fuck you want, because most likely it's a predator and it's coming to eat you. There's no reservations there. You know what I mean? Like you don't go take a crap out in the woods unless you take the rifle with you. They're good stalkers, man, and it might not be familiar to them, but they're still curious, right? Might only be one or two, but they're fucking gonna watch you.
Well, and it's the one or two that you see looking at you. It's the 4 or 5 behind you that you don't see.
Yeah, like that encircling thing. They love to fucking do that. They can get a fucking full 360 around you. They will.
Oh,
so
man.
Don't let them, man. You just fucking open up. Fuck everything else. You just open up and fucking, start fucking plugging them if you can. Like, it's not
That's
ideal.
where a nice big caliber handgun would come in handy up in Canada, huh?
Yeah, well, most bow hunters don't go bow hunting with just their bow. They take a shotgun with them at least. I've seen guys.
Yeah,
bow
unfortunately,
hunting.
in my state, you can't carry a firearm while you're bow hunting, but we have an overlapping season, and I had a fight with the game warden one time. I said, so it's archery season. It's in December. Archery season's 3 months down here. Rifle season's 1 week, so you can't do anything but rifle. And then the whole month of December is muzzleloader.
Yeah.
So I said, can I sit in a blind in a corn pivot with my bow and my muzzleloader since I have a license for both? He goes, no.
That's crazy.
I said, I said, it's a coexisting seasons. I've got a license for either one. You cannot carry a firearm while you're archery hunting. I was like,
that is fucking stupid. Dude, have you ever seen?
We don't have bears down here, so we don't have people, having the
yes.
need to carry a weapon with them besides their bow.
Well, there are lots of videos on YouTube of bow hunters up in tree stands shooting the bear, and the bear comes up into their fucking tree.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
and they're fucking trying to beat them off with the fucking bow.
Yeah.
No.
I'm taking the damn gun.
Yeah,
and we've got mountain lions down here too that they lied about for years, saying they aren't around, but they are, and we're getting actually a pretty decent population of them. So we had a kid here a couple of years ago. His dad and him were hunting. I think he was 12 or 13, just old enough to carry a rifle. And his dad went around the hill one way and he ran around the other, and his dad heard a shot. He come back around the hill and the kid was being stalked by a mountain lion.
Yep.
And he saw him, and it was doing the old where they start doing this and pound, their tail starts twitching and they're getting ready to jump to see how far they have to jump. That's when the kid shot him, when he was that close.
That's good.
Yeah, and they like to attack from behind, man. I've said that about the fucking.
Oh yeah, it was coming up behind him, and he got wind of it or heard him or something. He turned around, and the thing was just getting ready to launch. He was on the trail with him, and he just, boom!
I would have filled my pants.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't want you.
Trouble.
Vancouver Island, we had an old guy who got jumped by one while out on the walking trail, and he fucking gutted him with a pocket knife. He just had a pocket knife and he just reached back and fucking gutted him. But there's a bunch of reports, man, where kids have been taken. They found people.
British Columbia, there was a lot of mountain lion attacks and coyote attacks too.
Yeah, no, we got lots. We got pretty much all the predators. It's just people down on especially on the island, right? Like, it's fucking liberal central, right?
Yeah.
Like, seriously, liberal central. It's the fucking breeding ground for liberals, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, they say, oh, well, nobody can have guns and blah, 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 blah. It's like, okay, well, you have bears that are fucking 900 pounds. You have mountain lions that are fucking, 160 pounds that are eating children, and you're still worried about the goddamn mountain lions and bears? Fuck. The deer are fucking starting to kill people, for fuck's sakes. They're getting so brazen.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, dude, they'll come in your garden right in the middle of the city, fucking eat all your fucking garden and fucking charge at you.
They'll stomp you. They will stomp you.
Well, look what a moose will do to somebody. A moose will stomp you to death.
Oh yeah, most people don't know that moose actually kill more people every year than fucking sharks.
Yeah,
so that's a fact. It is literally the biggest man killer out there. It's a fucking.
I was gonna say, have you guys seen that video where that guy's walking down the mountain trail, and that mountain lion is like following him, trying to charge at him every 2 seconds? You guys seen that?
Yeah, he's walking backwards and he's yelling at that cat, and it keeps coming up on him.
Oh,
I did not see that one. But
check that out.
That's why you need a gun.
You want your blood to run cold, man? God, that's scary.
That is.
I've seen one of those. It was the same type of deal, but it was a sow grizzly and 2 cubs, and this guy walked up to him, not knowing, walked up and he saw him, and then he started backing up. And the cubs were kind of leery, but they were following their mama, and she started coming down the trail at him, and he's running backwards trying to, scare her off and everything. She's bluff charging, and she's got 2 cubs behind her, and that guy could have easily been killed.
Oh, totally. A male bear, especially a black bear, you should be less afraid of than fucking moose or a fucking cat of some kind. One of these wild cats, doesn't matter which one. They're all fucking vicious predators, man. You know what I mean? But
Oh yeah.
yeah, the bear is lowest on the list. And I don't fucking think most people want to screw with bears, but you really shouldn't screw with any of the other ones either. they're not just pretty looking predators. They're vicious.
Have you?
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Chris.
No, what were we gonna say?
I saw a special. I was watching a show several years ago, and it was talking about up in Canada. And have you seen these? They call them koi wolves.
I have not.
They think that they've gotten a couple of them. They've been able to do genetic testing on them, but they think they are a timber wolf coyote hybrid cross.
Well, it could be. I mean, they all come from the same genus, right?
Yeah, and they call them koi wolves, and they had some that had attacked. They thought they were just coyotes that have attacked people, and I want to say it was in Canada. It was either that or like northern Michigan, northern Minnesota. But yeah, they say they have some pictures of them, and they're like the biggest coyote you've ever seen in your life. They look just like a coyote, but they got a little bit different head shape and their ears.
And they're big as fucking wolves.
Yeah, they call them a koi wolf, and if you ever have some time, look it up. They did a special on it on some nature show, or they were talking about animals when animals are attacking or whatever.
How do you
pretty
spell
interesting?
That? How do you spell that?
It was COYWOLF. Like start to spell, just bring coyote and wolf together.
Oh, wow.
Did you use the Googles?
Yes, I used the Googles. I wonder if they have the pack mentality like the rest of the wolves, or if they're kind of more loners like the coyotes.
Oh, but they kind of suspect that they've killed several people. Speaking of getting mauled by animals, I think some guy just got killed up at Yellowstone here recently by a bison, thinking you can walk up to a buffalo.
Oh my God, man!
Have you ever seen that video of that woman biker that got stripped down to nothing? It was up at Custer State Park in South Dakota here a couple years ago. She got off a bike and she walked up there. I think she had chaps. She had jeans on and leather chaps. And this buffalo, it was I think it was a cow buffalo. And I think it had a calf near it. She walks up there, like, take a picture, and this thing starts ragdolling her, and it gets her pants hooked on its horn, and it's throwing her around, and it peeled her pants right off. She's laying in the ditch butt naked, and there's people running up there with blankets and stuff trying to cover her up. It stripped her. She didn't have nothing from the waist down.
Oh my
gosh, I've never even been around them.
It's on YouTube videos too.
Walk up to
Yeah, don't fuck with
don't
animals.
Just walk up to one.
Don't fuck with animals, guys. They will fuck you up.
You don't realize, a bull buffalo, they can get up to 2,400 pounds.
Dude.
And you're looking at, 2,000, 1,800 pounds, and they're all muscle, and they only know how to do two things: run away from something or run over it. That's the only thing they know.
Yeah, no, dude. The buffaloes that you'll find out in Alberta, those things are fucking monsters, and they have like 8-foot fences around them, and they will try to jump that shit to get at you.
They can jump a 6-foot fence. I've seen video of buffalo jumping a 6-foot fence.
Yeah, and I mean, if you got an animal that's built like that, fucking barreling down on you, good luck, man. Good luck. That's all I got.
Yeah, they're gonna put that big old pumpkin head on you and just smash you into the ground.
Fuck yeah! They will bury your ass into the dirt, man.
Stomp a mud hole in you and then walk it dry.
Oh, literally. Literally. Oh, stone cold.
Yeah, don't fuck with wild animals. They're wild animals for a reason. Is this the blonde haired chick? Yeah, I'm assuming so because she's here with a bunch of fucking bikers. Oh yeah, she got real close.
Yeah. It'll start ragdolling her, and you can see her clothes coming off. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, don't do that shit. Oh my god. Oh,
You just
that
need
stuff is so
somebody
stupid.
please save that poor Whammons.
Yeah. I got a better idea. Like I said, man, I've mentioned this chick a few times, that turbo feminist that got attacked by the bear up in the park here and then asked where all the men were to help her.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that should be like on America's Funniest Home Videos. If it wasn't so graphic, I would show it, but it's pretty graphic. I don't even think it's on YouTube. But yeah, no, it was pretty fucking funny. Especially once you got the whole story. You know what I mean? It was funny.
Yeah, there's a guy that started up a bear attack video on YouTube, and he's kind of branched off into some different kinds of animals, but he's got a couple dozen bear attack videos where he describes the area, the conditions, what happened. You know, not like videos of them showing getting attacked, but mostly fatalities.
Yeah, it generally doesn't end well no matter what. Like a lot of people focus on like lions, sharks, things like that. Occasionally the bears, but they just don't realize like how much damage most of these fucking animals can do. Like if you see it in the wild, I mean, I posted a video of like 4 or 5 moose that are just up the hill here behind me, right? I mean, I stopped on my snowmobile, but I didn't shut off the engine because I know that if they want to fucking take a run at me, they're going to fucking gain that ground pretty goddamn quick. You know what I mean? So
I watched a video the other day. This guy was snowmobiling and he stopped in the middle of the trail. There was a cow moose standing in the middle of the trail, and he's got his buddy on his sled behind him. And he's like kind of gunning a little bit, and coming towards, trying to just spook her off of the trail. She turns around and charges at him and comes up over the front cowling and the windshield of his sled and hits him with a foot.
Yeah.
And then turns around, walks off about 10 feet, turns around again. Well, he pulls out a Glock, and I think it was a 10 millimeter. He pulls it out, and he's like, "Get out of here." And he's screaming at it. And it started to come again. So he puts one over the top of her head, a warning shot. She just full charge. So he just dumped about 6 or 7 rounds into it and killed her dead right there on the side of the trail. And he took off, off and went around her.
That's about how it needs to work. But yeah, no, like I've chased a couple of young ones with my sled and quad, but I mean, if you get them on the run, it's one thing, but if they turn around, man, you better have some fucking distance because you need to throw that bitch in reverse. Yeah. You need to start heading back the other way real quick. But yeah, no, I've seen guys try to chase them with their quad and try to get like right on their ass. It's like, you're stupid, buddy. If he decides to stop or turn around, you're fucking mid-speed. He'll ground you into the dirt. Stupid.
I went up to Alaska in 1990 when I graduated, and I was driving my dad's truck, and their bull moose walked out onto the road, and I thought, just like a deer, you just stop, honk your horn, they'll get out of the way. And I honked the horn, and he started yelling at me. He goes, "Don't honk the horn." And I go, "Why?" And he goes, "He'll get pissed, and he'll turn around, and then he'll put 15 holes in our radiator, and we'll be stuck out here." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So you just stop, and you just stop where if there's a herd of caribou or 5 or 6 moose, and they run out on the highway like deer, but they're a deer that the top of their back is even with your eyes in a pickup. And you're like, right, "Oh, crap."
Brother Outlaw had to take off there. His battery's almost dead. But yeah, no, don't fuck with that shit.
Yeah, so you don't want to do that because they'll just turn and just put all those tines right into your radiator, and you're stuck.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Anyway, what about yourself, Doug? Anything crazy you're running around down in your area? Where'd you say you were again?
I'm in southeast Missouri. We've got white-tailed deer here. I think we have bears, but I've never come across any. We've got snakes, king snakes, copperheads, that type of situation.
So you got the smaller fuckers that are hard to see.
Yes, we've got armadillos. I think there might be some wild hogs around here. A bunch of squirrel, bunch of rabbit, stuff like that.
Okay. So nothing larger than the hogs and the.
Well, I think we
pretty much.
have had sightings of mountain lions. I've never seen them, but I've heard of people reporting on seeing mountain lions around here.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I know it was a wolf, a dead wolf, about 4 miles north of St. Joseph, Missouri on the interstate.
Wow.
And I couldn't believe it. I thought, that's a coyote. And as I went by, I saw its head and the jaw and its teeth. And I thought, that's not a coyote. And I thought, there's no way there's a wolf in northern Missouri dead on the road. So I got to where I was going. I think I had to go to St. Joseph. And I Googled it up and I said, are there wolves near St. Joseph, Missouri, or have there ever been? And they came up there and said, yeah, there's been sightings and
so we must have
some
them.
have been hit. Yeah, and I mean that's quite a bit north of where you're at, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, I'm in the southern part of the state. I've never come across any rattlesnakes here, but like I said, I've come across king snakes or copperheads and things along those lines. But
you have cottonmouths too?
Yeah, we have cottonmouth. Yeah,
that's a mean snake.
When you're talking about animals and being in places where they're normally not found, you're familiar with this fish, right? The sunfish, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm from the east coast of Canada, which is as far from the tropics as it fucking gets. These fuckers have been washing up in Newfoundland. So when it comes to animals going wherever they want to go, I know this is by ocean, but at the same time, it wasn't dead long. The whole body was still intact when they found them. But these fuckers have ventured up into those areas. Other animals venturing all over the world, if there's land bridges or whatever the case may be, it's not uncommon to see, especially like lone animals, ones that don't go in packs, migrating all across the place. Like I wouldn't be surprised.
We've had moose about 40 miles from where I'm at. There's been a couple of moose, but they came out of Wyoming and they come down through like the North Platte River and they just follow the river. Yeah. We had 3 or 4 that were living year round at a lake. And they're not the moose like you have up there. They're not Alaska Yukon moose. These are Shiras moose, which are smaller, but they're still huge. I mean, they're like 3 mule deer put together.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we've had moose, and this is western Nebraska, but they'll come in from, we've had them come in from South Dakota too. So I'm not very far from South Dakota or Wyoming. So.
Oh, cool.
Well, you think about where Doug is, and he mentioned rattlesnakes and stuff. We have rattlesnakes in Alberta.
Wow.
Yeah.
We have prairie rattlers around here.
It's one of the coldest motherfucking places during the winter that you'll ever find. Yet we still have fucking rattlesnakes, and they're there all year long. Every year, they
we probably there. I just don't know it.
Yeah, dude. Like it's something you don't see as much towards the middle and northern part, but especially the south part, like down by Brooks and Bow Island, places like that. Dude, there's fucking rattlesnakes everywhere.
Yeah,
everywhere. It's one of those things where you don't go out in the woods. Like I reference it because I went to these places while working the oil rigs, right? But we were told, yeah, dude, don't even go out in the woods. Just take a dump or piss or anything. You know what I mean? Because there's rattlers all over this place. We got black widows fucking everywhere. And we're as far from.
They don't observe borders, so timber
no.
rattlers come out of northern Montana and go up into Canada.
You know what? I Outlaw, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a place somewhere in Canada where gators are actually living because either somebody put them there and they just survive. You know what I mean? Just like frogs. I mean, they could have went dormant during the winter, possibly, or whatever the case may be, but I wouldn't be surprised if you start fucking seeing them eventually. Eventually, they might evolve. that way, right?
We had a guy that was trout fishing on the Spokane River, and that's cold water. It's basically, glacier fed out of Canada.
Yeah.
And somebody caught I couldn't believe it. They did a news story on it. Somebody caught a red-bellied piranha in the Spokane River.
Wow.
Somebody had thrown it in there, had dumped it out of a fish tank, but that's a trout, or not a trout, like Amazon River. I mean, it's a warm weather species, and it was making a living
in
the Spokane River, which is cold water.
Yeah. I mean,
on the 4th of July, that water's cold. I've swam in it. It's not. It doesn't ever get warm.
No, that's like the Atlantic Ocean. It never gets warm enough. Like here in Pacific Ocean, you can go walk off the beach and fucking swim around, no problem, right? It's a bit chilly, but it ain't that bad. But now you go to the Atlantic Ocean and you got a different fucking story. That stuff is sub-zero temperature all the fucking time.
Well, then they say that like great white sharks. Oh, they're a warm water shark. Well, look how cold the water is off the coast of New York. That's where they've caught great whites before.
There you go.
On Martha's Vineyard and all that over there on the East Coast. And the salmon shark, they migrate from California all the way up to Alaska every year for the salmon runs, and they're basically a hybrid. They look like a miniature great white and a mako shark had a baby.
Ugly motherfuckers.
They look like miniature great whites. You look up a salmon shark. There was a show on them, and there's divers out there that were just swimming with them as they were coming through, and they'll breach and take salmon, breach like the big great whites do, but they only get like 5 or 6 feet long, but they look like a miniature great white shark, and they're up there in Alaska. And then they come down through, they go up the pass through like Vancouver Island, they go up through the inlet, and the San Juans and all that. You've got these sharks. They've spotted a great white shark in Puget Sound.
Wow. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and it's like, everybody, oh no, they won't ever do that.
No, that's not something I'd like to make contact with.
No.
I mean, well, that's cute. Oh, look at that. Isn't that cute? Not so much. This ain't cute.
Well,
I think
this is some new info for me on the moose. I'll make sure not to be, just walking up on them.
No, you don't want to fuck with moose, dude. Especially
if it's
males.
A cow with a calf, you're asking for it.
Or the males in rutting season. Holy fuck, those fuckers are violent, dude.
Wow,
they knock down trees for fun.
Yeah, they get their eyes turn red and those ears go back and their heads start doing this. You're in trouble.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, crazy stuff. Crazy stuff.
I guess are elk more tame?
Elk aren't too bad that I've been around, but I've only been around farmed elk. So now they're not like babied or anything like that, but they're used to people.
Generally, from what I understand, I've been around elk and I've been around some moose, but they're not as aggressive.
Yeah.
Especially during the rut. Elk usually, if a bull elk sees you, the jig's up, they're gone.
Okay.
Whereas a bull moose, you can be calling it or it'll be coming in, and you could actually go out in the wide open, stand there and go, "Hey, I am not a moose," and they'll still come in and attack you.
Yeah, they generally don't have problems.
They just got one thing on their mind, and that's kicking your ass because you're trying to take his girlfriend.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yep. Caribou are pretty much like elk, they fucking run off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they generally run in big fucking herds. So if you think you're going to fucking have a herd of them fucking like run away from you or divert around you, no, they'll bowl right fucking through you.
Are mountain lions going to be aggressive if you're around them, or will they kind of leave you alone too, unless you mess with them?
Mountain lions, they fucking
if it's
stalk
old,
you.
If they're old, or if they're real young, like they just got kicked off their mom, or if they're real old or they got a defect like bad teeth or an injury or something like that, that's when they'll try to take the easiest game they can. Well, us upright walking beings seem pretty easy to them. So
Okay.
and I've seen a video of a guy, they were bow hunting and they were filming, they were in a blind and a herd of mule deer ran by them, and the very last deer was a very large mule deer buck, and the mountain lion that was chasing that herd decided to take him, and he jumped on his back and bit him in the back of the neck and had all four claws dug in. And when that mule deer stopped, he stopped right in front of these guys blind. They're filming this. When he stopped, he kind of hunched forward to try to throw the cat off of his back. And as soon as he stopped and he leaned his weight forward, the cat spun around because he had him in the back of the neck. He spun around and grabbed him under the throat. And then he hooked all four hooks into him and he choked that mule deer. That mule deer stood there and choked himself to death.
Oh, wow.
And it was all on film. It was amazing. It was like he had yearling mule deer, he had does, and he picked the biggest, baddest deer in that herd and took him down right in front of a camera. It was impressive. If you ever get a chance to watch that, it's amazing.
Yeah, once they fucking grab on, I know I've seen some videos on YouTube of deer being grabbed in somebody's yard, I believe it was, and a fucking mountain lion came up fucking behind him, or a cougar, whichever it was. I think it was a cougar. And
no, the same
fucking
thing.
Snapped his fucking neck like it was nothing and dragged him off. Just nothing to it.
If they can't break their neck, they'll just latch on and just bite right into the windpipe and just hold on and suffocate. They bleed out, or they just you suffocate, or they bleed out from getting four big canines popped through your throat.
Yeah, well, and that's how they attack. Like the ones up here, when they attack you from behind, they'll grab on with their front claws. They'll dig in with their teeth. They'll try to bite your neck, but they're actually going to rip your fucking spine out with their back legs. That's where you're going to suffer all your fucking damage is from their back legs. And they've got claws on them, dude, that are like fucking 2.5 inches long when they're extended, and they are just vicious looking. They're just like razor blades. But yeah, they use their back legs to actually like rip out your guts through your back.
Oh, God.
De-spine you.
Oh, man.
Up, dude.
I'm going to have to watch some of this action.
Yeah,
they're an impressive animal. It's amazing how, something that could weigh 80 to 140, 50 pounds, how it could take down a 300-pound deer or the mountain lions. They kill elk all the time. They'll take down a 500-600-pound bull.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're no different than horses, right? Like the horse protects its vulnerable spot, which is generally its back, right? And the back of its neck, because they know that if a predator gets on there, they're fucked, right? Yeah. That's why we control a horse by controlling its head. Well, you can control an elk the same fucking way. You control the head and you control the rest of the body, right? So if you wanted to lasso an elk and you got him right around the like upper jaw part, you could fucking pull him around just like you would a horse. I wouldn't recommend it, but you could.
Yeah, they got those bony knife handles all over their head that they can
if they
get
come
with
at you.
Chandeliers, elk horn antler chandeliers.
Yeah, if they come at you, it's a different story. But if they're trying to get away, you got all control of them if you got control of the head. Right?
Well, even a deer can really mess you up if they want. I mean, if you look at their hooves, that splayed out hoof, they're sharp.
I wish I got the video from my neighbor here. I got to get that to show you guys. This fucking deer, this young deer, just walked out while we were up looking at quad parks with my buddy here and his daughter. This deer just walked out from the bush, from behind the fucking shop, walked right up to all three of us, and just started cuddling into us. Wild fucking deer. Wow. Like, what the fuck is going on?
He was looking for a new mom.
Apparently, but it was hilarious. And I told her, I was like, because she got her arm around his neck, right? And she's kind of cuddling up to his head, and I was like, okay, now slit his throat.
Deer steaks.
Deer steaks. And she was like, no, I wouldn't do that. And her dad was like, what do you think you've been eating out of the fridge? The fridge is full of deer.
Yeah, that little Fawn's aunt and uncles.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. Well, yeah, no, I never seen like even down in Victoria where they're all domesticated and never shot at, right? And they're eating your garden, they still won't come up to you like that. You know what I mean?
Hey, if you want to talk a little conspiracy, I know you're always good for a little conspiracy, Mitchell.
Oh,
Let me run this one by you.
well, it's just not fact yet.
Well, it's a fact. Apparently, it's a fact that these ticks exist, but they're Texas deer ticks,
Right?
and there's a certain species of them. And if you get bit by one, it puts some kind of an enzyme in you that makes you allergic to red meat. You get an allergy, and you have an allergic to reaction if you eat any type of red meat.
Yeah, no, that's not a theory. That's a fact. There's
Yeah.
viruses out there that make you allergic to meat. Yeah.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
where I'm taking the tin hat is, were they released by the CDC or kill gates? And are we going to see them come right up through the Bible Belt, right up through the middle of the country where he's buying all this farmland?
You never know, but I don't think that I'm pretty sure it's a bacterium that makes you allergic to red meat after you've been infected by it.
Right.
That's not a new
But
thing.
it's only like one specific, and it's in Texas right now. What's to say it's not going to magically spread? I'm on a carnivore diet. I eat red meat every day. I'd be one pissed off bastard if I start getting sick from it.
Yes, the tick that gives you a meat allergy. Yeah. Let me double check this here. Alpha Gal syndrome, AGS.
That's what it's called.
Yeah, that's what it gives you from the bacteria that the tick actually carries around naturally. But yeah, it gives you an allergic an allergic reaction to most red meats, most meat proteins even.
I bet it won't give you an allergic reaction to bugs.
Yeah, or fucking soy.
Because that's what they want you to eat.
Yeah. No, if I get this allergy, I choose death. I choose death.
Well, I
guys.
just hope Benadryl will take care of it, and I'll just keep going.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't remember what movie it was, but there was this chick that was going to the doctor because she kept eating crab and she was really allergic to crab. It was kind of funny because he seen her again. She was in the bathroom stall with a fucking big old crab, getting ready to do it again. Yeah, no, I definitely wouldn't need that one.
Yeah, it would not be something I would want to have to deal with.
Nope, keep it away
Bad
from me,
enough, you got
guys.
to deal with Lyme disease and Rocky Mountain spotted fever and all that other stuff that these nasty little ticks can do.
Yeah. Well, mosquito population's fucking blowing up here this year, so most likely they'll have something new that they'll blame on mosquitoes spreading around, right?
Well, the other day we got rain. It rained all day the other day, and just outside of town, a few miles, they got 6 inches of rain in it, like 8 hours.
Yeah. Well, we've been raining here for days, dude. For days. Oh, yeah. I'm fucking eating alive. My arms are just fucking scratched to pieces. Anyway, I don't know if anybody else wants to jump in and shoot the shit, but any other topics we can go on? I mean, I'm fine with conspiracy theories that haven't been proven to be facts yet. Like I said,
Yes,
fucking
seems like they come down the pipe even faster nowadays.
right. We used to have conspiracy theories that lasted decades. Now they're not lasting days.
Yeah.
Before it's all proven. It's like, oh, guess it ain't theory no more. Like I said, man, we got to adopt some new ones because we're running out of the old ones. They're being proven true. I don't know. I don't think we need to wear tinfoil hats anymore. At least not
No,
for
I think that those days are gone.
Yeah, those days are long gone. You can't help but feel bad for the people that were fucking, calling this out years and years ago and just getting ridiculed to shit.
Yeah.
You know?
And now it's happening right in front of everybody's faces, and people still want to act like nothing's going on in certain, or just, I don't know, they just don't want to engage with it.
Yeah, well, I can't blame them.
No.
Well, it's the old ostrich with their head in the sand. If I don't see it, it's not going to happen to me.
Sure.
It's like these people that are on these prepper channels and the people that have been trying to prepare for stuff and stock food away, and can and everything. Everybody's, oh, you're just paranoid. Oh, you're just this. You're just that. Well, now people are saying, how do I start to do this?
Yeah.
Well, it's almost too late when you're paying $6 a gallon for gas and your food bill.
Yeah.
My grandmother went into the grocery store the other day, and my uncle had talked to her and says, well, did you get sticker shock? My grandmother's 93, and the girl, when she bought a good chunk of groceries, and the girl said the total, and my grandma says, when I graduated high school, this amount of money right here would have bought groceries for a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
And my uncle said when they were kids, and my uncle's 65, he said when they were kids, if his mom spent $20 a week at groceries, that was a lot. So
$20 now. We can't. If I were to put $20 in my car when it was on empty, right? Like even just like the red light, because mine's digital, right? So I got the notch that's red at the bottom. If that were to come on and I put $20 in, it still wouldn't take that light off.
Yeah.
Well,
my pickup now costs. They raised the price. I don't run that ethanol. I don't run corn gas, and it's $5.07 a gallon right now.
Wow.
And you guys up there are really paying for it.
Well, we're paying by the liter.
Yeah.
We're paying by the liter, right? So I mean, we're almost $2 a liter in most places.
Yeah, so there's $8 a gallon.
Yeah, fucking California, isn't it? I think it was California. They're at like fucking $8 or $9 a gallon or some shit.
Well, they had a deal the other day. It was downtown LA, and it was $7.83 a gallon. They said that was the most expensive gas in the continental United States right now.
These are the geniuses that want to run our world.
Oh yeah, no, they're doing a fucking bang up job.
Yeah.
Oh, I see those Biden stickers. Those I did that sticker pointing.
Yeah.
I see them on the gas pump, and the people will go out, and you can tell who the liberals are. They're the ones with the masks still on, and they're out there scraping those stickers off or taking a Sharpie and blacking them out. And then the next day, there's another one on there. It just cracks me up.
Yeah. No, I highly recommend people keep doing that because we'll never drive the point home to these fucking indoctrinated fools. Like I stated before, you can't save everyone. You're not going to.
Well, our fuel went from for that non-ethanol, it's 91 octane non-ethanol. It went from 472 or 479 to 509 in at 2 days max.
Gosh.
Well,
and we have the 4th of July coming up, and now everybody's out of school, so all the travelers, the campers, and everything. I see these people with these diesel. The diesels are like $5.25 a gallon down here for diesel, and you see these guys with these big old Cummins and Fords, and they're towing a 38-foot fifth wheel, and I was like, boy, I don't hope you guys aren't having to drive very far.
No shit. Well, I mean, I run the same thing in my quads, right? I don't run an ethanol mix in my quads and the snowmobiles. Right now, I wouldn't want, like, luckily, I picked up gas, I guess about 2 months ago, and I just filled up my jerry can that I use for my quad and sled, right? But, I wouldn't want to have to go fill it up now. Like the only reason I've still got fuel is because I still haven't figured out that fucking carburetor. I got the one side set, but now I got to set the other one. So,
Well, if I wanted to fill up my truck from empty, it would be pushing $130.
oh fuck, that's nothing to fill up a
Yeah.
truck here. $350.
Right.
Yeah, to fill up a pickup. Well, like I said, my kid's half sister, she just went and bought a truck this past year, and now it's too expensive to drive. You know, can't afford to keep it in fucking fuel. She doesn't
Well,
work that far away.
I've got a little an old compact pickup that was my grandfather's, and I use it to drive back and forth to work. And then I've got a full size pickup, 1/2-ton 4-door, and a motorcycle, and I got a bicycle, and I'm close enough to work that if I had to, I could walk to work, or I'm a mile away from work, or I can ride a bike.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'd be saying,
Mopeds are going up a lot. I'm actually thinking about going and getting me a moped.
Hemi
You
saying
know, they
that
used
regular.
to make those Honda Metropolitans. They're a little 50cc, and you didn't need a motorcycle endorsement. They used to be $1,500.
Yeah.
And they would do 45 miles an hour, and you flipped up the seat, and it was big enough to put a suitcase of beer in them. They were great.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, you could put a case of beer under the seat and then ride it home.
Yeah.
I don't think they're 1,500 anymore. The last time I checked on them, I think they were like 2,300 or 2,400. But they get what the hell is it? It's a 1-gallon tank, and you get 200. Is it 200 miles? 1.5 gallons, something like. They get like over 75 miles a gallon.
That's fantastic. That's what I was thinking about doing, even though I live 6 miles from my job. So it's,
well, these are 4-strokes too. They're not a 2-cycle, so you're not going to be burning a piston up on them or anything, and you don't have to rebuild them every year if you put a bunch of miles on them. But
okay.
yeah, they were called a Honda Metropolitan, and they had them like 8 or 9 different colors. They're the little step-through scooters. You know, your feet sit right in front of you.
Yeah.
You know, on the platform.
Hey, 3 days ago I went to town. I put gas in my car. It was $1. I think he said it was $1.93. I'm just checking here right now. It's 216.9.
A liter.
Yeah, 3 days of difference.
Wow. That's
So,
860. That's like 860 something a gallon.
I'm not sure what it would be, but that's in the nearby town where I just was. I just looked at the gas station. Now that Hemi mentioned it,
30, 45, 60, 64. It'd be 864 for a gallon, if my math's right.
Well, let's see.
216.
216.9 liters to gallons.
If you just timed it by 4, you're close enough on a liter to a quart.
No, I don't want that. I'm not too sure. 943? That sound about right?
Well, I was just going 4 liters is basically equivalent to 4 quarts. So I figured a gallon, but you run imperial gallons up there too, don't you?
Let's see. Liter to US gallon. No, I want the price, not the goddamn actual. Well, here, actually, we'll do the 1 liter.
It's just too damn much is what it is.
Yeah, somewhere between too damn much.
I should get some of them. I did that stickers, and I'd mail them up to you, Chris.
Yeah,
you can put them on the Canadian gas pumps.
Well, I think people are making some for Trudeau.
Oh,
you know, it's like a Trudeau Biden combo, and it's like we did that together type of thing.
Oh
yeah.
You could get them holding hands and both pointing, and then Trudeau's in blackface or something.
Yeah. Oh my God, I fucking hate those people so much.
Because you know he likes to culturally appropriate stuff from people.
Yeah, well, I just saw something on the feed for YouTube. Like you might like these other channels, and it shows them in a feed that you can scroll left to right on. And
Mhm.
one of the news reports here is from CTV. Let's go beyond tolerance. Justin Trudeau, and unfortunately it's cut off, on Islamic phobia at our London family, and then it cuts off again. But I can't imagine it's good. I'm pretty sure he's basically wanting to say like, "Hey, let's be so anti-Islamophobic that let's let them cut our heads off and say
Yeah.
thank you, may I have another."
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's a fucking moron.
About time you will open up that Aloha snack bar pizza joint,
Yeah,
Chris.
yeah. Well, gentlemen, I do take donations for the Empire, and it is expensive, but I do what I can. But if you feel like donating, the PayPal's linked in the pinned comments there. Highly appreciate it. Not a necessity though. So, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, no, I don't see this going anywhere good. Right now we have food shortages that are going on already. We have stores that have been emptied and barely keeping up with things for months and months and months, like since last Christmas, before last Christmas.
Hmm.
So now if we're looking at a new what?
Yeah,
If
we
we're
we
looking
haven't had a whole lot of shortages where I'm at, fortunately.
No, we don't have them right now.
Oh yeah,
So,
you will.
when it comes to supply, you know how it goes. The smaller communities get less and less, and it still gets redirected to the bigger communities, obviously.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and I'm in a town of we only have 2 grocery stores.
yeah, well, we have more than that, and all of them are in the same pretty much position. Some
Yeah,
of them,
they're gonna keep Vancouver Island alive and let you starve to death.
yeah, keep the fucking libertards going.
Gosh.
See what, guys? Once I become emperor, they're the first ones that starve. Actually, there won't be any. Wonderful. Think of that world, and all I see is peace and happiness.
Oh,
I think
40
about all the
40
nice
years
fishing
ago,
boats that would be
would have
left
been.
in the harbor right there in Vancouver, so we could go fishing.
Totally. Wasn't fucking such a fucking disease-ridden cesspool. You could totally get some fish there.
Well, yeah, if there's nobody around anymore, then it would just be fair game on the boats and whatever else.
Yeah, no, they got dude. If you were in the mindset of salvaging or boats for yourself, whatever the case may be, Vancouver's the place to go, man.
Yeah,
They just fucking park that shit. They just park it. There's entire ferries and stuff just sitting there. Not that there was anything wrong with it. They retired it, and rather than like either you know tearing it down
pay
or
to just break it down.
yeah, reusing the metal and stuff that's in it or whatever the case may be, they just parked it. They just parked
Well,
it.
I would figure all the greenies and all the animal rights people, you'd think they'd take those ferries and strip out all the engines and all the oil and everything, and then just sink it out there and make a reef, an artificial reef for all the good fish.
Dude, you'd expect these people to try to use some kind of common sense when it comes to like reusing things, and they don't, because they're not here to use common sense. They're here to use buzzwords and
And feed
illogical
you.
fucking, yeah, illogical points of view. That's about all they use.
Yeah.
Just like the ones with the gun grab. Oh yeah, let's give away all their guns because it doesn't affect me at all. Fuck you. But
You saw that meme that's going around that shows a wolf attacking sheep, and it says the wolf has teeth. The sheep have teeth.
Yeah.
The sheep figured if they get rid of their teeth, they'll be safe. And then it shows the wolf snarling. It says the wolf still has teeth.
that's right.
Oh,
I thought that is perfect. This society is perfect for them.
Yep. Yep. Well, like I said the other night, what's the difference between a slave that has a collar around his neck and the one that puts it on there themselves? You know what I mean? What's the difference? If anything,
And they're slave to what I'm talking to you right now, this telephone.
oh yeah, that too. But their ideology is fucking completely skewed from what reality really is. Right? There's a reason why fucking in every dictatorship, one of the main things they took away was people's, freedom to access information, the speech of some people, and then their weapons, and then they were in full on dictator mode.
Yeah.
You can look up a certain manifesto that has been around for a very long time, and they're doing it by the numbers.
Yeah. I mean,
You
they've
take over the
convinced.
corporate media, you take over the schools, you win the hearts and minds of the children, and you manipulate them, and then you make
Indoctrinate them.
everything that is considered vile and against normalcy, which would be your alphabet squads doing all their stuff and the grooming of the kids. You can look at there's a numbered checklist, and they're going down the line perfect.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, it's been pointed out for 60, 50, 60 years now, and they don't fucking care. They don't know. And that's why I really liked Mark Dice's videos, because when he goes out onto the street and asks these people, like, very basic questions that even I know about the U.S. or about other fucking things in history,
Oh yeah,
they can't
It's-
answer it. They
it's
can't answer
amazing
it.
when he does those, and he'll ask a college-aged kid a question, and they just look at him like, and it doesn't even have to be college.
No, I've
Basically,
seen like old people
anybody
that,
under 30.
dude, I've seen them fucking ask old people this stuff, and they didn't fucking know it. They grew up in it, or the aftermath, right?
In all honesty, I don't know if I could pass a citizenry test right now. I don't know
Why
what
not?
questions they put on it.
What was
I could
the
look
cause
it
of the-
up and I could pass one, but yeah, if they just said, "Oh, prove that you're a citizen,"
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus.
There's 50
Well-
states.
Well,
Dude, I'd say, give me free stuff, and I vote D.
Yeah.
And they say, "Oh, okay, yeah, you're okay."
You're okay.
Yeah, you're definitely one of ours. Fucking dude, people still fucking think that Alaska's an island. They don't know that there's a fucking whole other country between you guys and Alaska,
Yeah,
because the
yeah.
maps don't
They
fucking
know
show it.
Hawaii is an island. Alaska has to be because it's not connected to us.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
That's hilarious. Oh, man.
One thing I questioned myself on, because like I said, I went to Alaska in 1990, but it was in July, and the salmon are running and everything. My dad and his brother were professional fishing guides at the time,
Right.
and so I went up there for a couple of weeks, and it was crazy. It never got dark. We'd get done on the river, and then we'd go to the golf range and drive golf balls at midnight, and the sun was still up. So you're
Yeah.
like, but I almost wonder what, you have that, you question yourself. When I was 18-year-old man, if I would have just moved to Alaska and did something, where would I be right now?
Well, if you look up most old maps, like when it came to Canada and the US, right? This is how they showed them. So they show all of Canada, then they show Alaska, US, Greenland, right? But they show that there was an attachment. This is more the traditional map that you see now. They've completely eliminated the fact that there's something else here or here. This is what this is new.
That's the new Canada map.
No, these are new. This is how they do maps now. When you ask for a map of a country, right? This is how they're going to show them. Not like this, how they used to be.
Right.
So you still have the US, right? Alaska, US type of thing, Greenland, everything that was close by or attached. Now they want to show them like this.
So they think everybody's an island.
Yeah. Well, map of the US. Look at the map of the US that you will 100% would have seen in like your school and stuff. This is how it's shown. Oh, for fuck's sakes, I went to a website. Images. Like this is probably how they used to be shown, right? You got Mexico, Canada,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm. Yep.
Now they show them like that. Oh well, Alaska's an island, but they cut out. This is done on purpose. This is done on purpose, guys.
Alaska moved to where Mexico used to be,
Yeah,
and Hawaii is way south.
yeah. Like this is how you used to see maps in school, especially for us, because we are attached to other countries, right?
Yeah.
Right. But this is how they want to show them now.
Look up a map of Central America and see how they have that divvied up.
Central America.
Yeah. All the little countries between South America and Mexico.
I don't know if I got the right one.
No, that's Africa.
Yeah. Oh. And how do you spell Central again? It's,
CENTR.
AL.
Because you've got Honduras, Nicaragua.
So.
Yeah.
Like
okay.
This?
Yeah, that's pretty much because all the old maps when we were kids, it would show South America connected to the bottom right there, and then Mexico would be connected up to the top, and then that's the Central American countries that cover it. So so they're just showing the countries itself, just like the other maps.
Yeah. But now if they cut all that out, how confused would people be? Dude, now that we're talking about it, the other day he did a video where he asked what the letters on a compass were for. And people didn't know that.
Wow.
Yeah. Didn't know what the fucking letters on a compass were all for at all.
I used to work at an auto parts store a long time ago in the early 90s. And I had a older gentleman. This is what blew me away. He was probably in his 70s. He's at least 70s. And he brought in a compass that he had bought from us, and it was one of those round ones that mount to your dashboard.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, this compass is broken. I want a refund. I said, what's wrong with it, sir? And he goes, it always points north. I looked at him and I said, it always points north. And he goes, yeah, it's broke. He says, it needs to point in the direction I'm going. It needs to tell me what, where I'm going. If I want to go east, it needs to, tell me I'm going to go east and point the arrow. And I'm like, oh man, okay.
Oh, wow.
here's your refund, sir. Have a nice day.
Oh my.
I would tell that person to not own a compass and instead try to find a GPS.
Yeah.
Well, this was before GPSs. There was no Garmin's around, and if they were super expensive,
Yeah.
because it was like this was 1991, 92.
So people then they're still using Motor Carrier Road Atlas to navigate the highways.
Oh, I've got a Rand McNally right here.
Oh
there
yeah.
You go.
And it's all
Road Atlas. Yeah.
Getting beat to hell. But I'll tell you what, it don't run out of batteries, and it doesn't blink and go off like one did to me in North Carolina. My GPS went out when I was on a trip to the East Coast.
There you go.
That's
there you go.
like 86.
Yeah. I mean, even I got my.
Don't get me wrong, I can't use it.
Even I've got my off-road maps, right? But it's downloaded onto my phone. The downside is, batteries die, I'm fucked. All right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, people don't know these things even exist anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You can't have a kid unless they've been through the Scouts or had somebody that actually cared. You can't have a kid show you a map and say, okay, if we're here and we need to go this way, which direction is it? They have no idea.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even right now, if you had a kid and you put them in scouts, they'll probably transgender them before you know it, because
Probably.
they're infected with the fucking narrative too.
Yeah, but all that, Chris, you just got to understand, all that these people wanted was the right to get married. That's it.
Yeah. Well, they have that.
And then this, and then
That.
this, and this, and yeah.
Now we want to indoctrinate your kids to be gay, so the
Yeah.
next generation is even more screwed up than it is right now.
Well, like we've stated and we've heard other people state, it's a fab, right? Like it's a fab that's going on, and now you're seeing this exponential increase in people that are claiming to be something, right?
Yeah,
All because they're
yeah.
encouraged to be that way.
I
When was the last time? Sorry, go ahead.
I have a cousin that his daughter she's in high school. I think she's a sophomore or junior. She told him, my cousin, her dad, that her boyfriend was bisexual. And this is like an athlete. I mean, he's there was no indications, and then all of a sudden he just came out as bisexual. Well, half the kids in his school now claim to be bisexual.
yeah.
My cousin's boy is in junior high, and he has a teacher. The librarian is LGBT, and she has all the flags and all the posters and everything up all over the library. And she just had the surgery to remove her breasts.
Whoa.
Oh.
And so she wants to turn into a man and then do her whole thing. I don't care if a person is a gay or lesbian. I don't care.
Right.
Do whatever you want. Do what makes you happy. But there is a concerted effort to manipulate the population. And then you got a 10%? 10% population. Some of them say it's 3%, but 10% of the population is homosexual.
Yeah.
But the whole rest of the 90% are supposed to cow down to them. And
well, dude, like I said, Trudeau and them here are willing to change laws for fucking 0.01% of the population, but we can't get fucking laws changed for 99% of the population. That shows you where this is a plan. Mm-hmm. This is part of their plan. This ain't a part of your kids' plan. This ain't a part of the gays. This ain't a part of the fucking LGBTQ's plan. They're just the pawns.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
what
I can't figure out
condoles because. Sorry, go ahead.
The MGTOW movement.
Yeah.
They should be happy that men aren't starting families and having kids. But like you said earlier, it's a money grab. If you're not paying child support and you're not, paying for these kids, then the government loses money. But they don't want you to have kids. It's a two-edged sword. It's like, well, do you want to kill off the population, or do you want to increase the population to make more tax cattle and more cannon fodder for your military?
Well, that's just it. I mean, the smaller branches that are linked to the federal government, because I mean, all they're really linked to is the Federal Reserve, right? The bank account. The more numbers they get on the book, the more money they get from their feds. So they want you to have children so that they can take them away.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because it's more numbers on their ledgers.
Yeah.
That's it. That's why there are those, like I said, there's 9,000 programs for women alone, and there's 0 for men. 0.
Yeah.
For fathers with kids, there's not a fucking thing. There is no one out there to protect them. No one.
Well, that's just because they've put all their bets on the females.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're the easiest to indoctrinate.
Yes, they are, because
easiest to indoctrinate. All they have to do is give them some of the fucking phony money they printed, and it's good to go.
Oh yeah.
Right.
And
it.
Vote D.
Vote D. Yeah. Vote for the big D.
Yeah, the big D.
That way they can get they can keep the government large and increase spending, like you said, keep printing out money out of nowhere. So, well, I mean, and And then, you know, that's where it is wild, because like when single moms vote, they're not going to vote on the side of freedom or for things that they're going to vote for the things that are giving them the incentives to be that way.
And they vote feelings.
Yeah.
Instead of rational, logical, let's look at facts and go based on those. I mean, that's just my opinion. That's what seems to be happening.
Well, and I think they're going to be these midterms coming up are going to be interesting, because the Democratic Party is hemorrhaging voters in the Black community and the Hispanic community.
Yeah.
And the Black community and the Hispanic community, by and large, have almost always like the Black community was 80% voted Democrat.
Yeah. That's
and it's like our I work a union job. I work for a railroad, a class 1 railroad. I work a union job. I've been a union member for 27 years.
wow.
And the unions were, but this last election, the unions were trying to convince their members to vote for Potato Head. And now that we're in this situation that we're at, you ask those same people that were gung-ho, oh yeah, you got to vote Democrat, you got to do it. You ask them, how do you think your president's doing? They don't want to talk to you at all.
No.
Wow. So the unions are like pressured to vote Democrat?
Yes, and I asked a gentleman one time. I went to a union conference because I used to be involved in my lodge. I was a vice president of my local. And I went to a conference, and there's a speaker that teaches at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, and he's in Omaha. And he's a union studies teacher. So basically, he'll tell you history, blah, blah, blah. Well, he's anti-Republican, and the last time I was there, Trump was still in office, and he screamed about Trump.
Mm-hmm.
And I caught him after the meeting. I caught him out in the hallway, and his name is Dave. And I said, hey, Dave, let me ask you a question. And he goes, what's that? And I said, why is it that the Democrat Party always supports the unions? And he looked at me and he says, you want the truth? I said, yep. And he says, because they know that the Republicans won't, so they know it's easy votes.
Yep.
And he flat out told me that. And this dude's a union scholar, basically.
Wow.
And he told me, and as soon as he told me that, and I just kind of went, yeah, it makes sense. You know, I don't think any of them, either side, gives a two rats' asses about the unions. They just want that vote. They always pander and say, we're for the working man. We're for the working man. Well, you wouldn't have closed the country down if you weren't for the
That's
working
right.
man.
You know, it's funny because I see images like this, right? When I literally Google search liberals are Nazis, right? And here's what I get. Now, if you go through this whole fucking list, you see a lot of like Donald Trump stuff who they're trying to basically incite that he's the Nazi. Have you ever looked at the Nazi symbol? It's 4 L's for liberal.
Yes, that's right. Lefty liberal. Yes.
And it also depends on the swastika, which direction it's pointing. Because if it's pointing the other direction, if it's mirrored the other way and the legs go a different way, it means something completely else, I believe.
Liberals are Nazis. I've been saying it for years. Liberals are Nazis. Yep. There's the proof. There's proof. I got proof.
Well, I asked my phone one time. I don't have Apple. I have Android, but I hit the speaker thing. You know, you can ask Google a question.
Yep.
And I got on there and I said, why is Hillary Clinton such a bitch? And it says, now. And that's all it said.
Yeah.
So then I clicked on it again and I said, why is Donald Trump such a dumbass? And it freaking opened up 100 pages.
Yeah.
It said, and then when I did that, I was like, yeah, you definitely know what side they're toting, because a computer voice told me, no, we can't talk about that. Don't you talk like that.
What's the new one? It's the one for your house. I think it's from Amazon. Alexa.
Oh,
Alexa.
yeah.
Dude, there are tons of fucking videos on YouTube of Alexa basically saying that, Republicans are Nazis, Democrats, no matter what they fucking do or what group is linked to them, they're saints. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I was at a friend's house.
Nothing in reality.
I think it was Alexa, one of them deals. I asked him, what's 0 times 0? And she got snarky with me and said, it's the same amount of friends that you have.
See, they're even trying to.
Wow.
They're even trying to implicate that you're fucking an incel with fucking Siri and Alexa.
Gosh.
Well, and did you see that Hammerhand video, Chris, the other day? That one he put on Odyssey. That latest one, that part 4.
I don't know.
Well, he was talking about, I don't remember if it was that video, but it was a Hammerhand video I was watching, and he says, you watch. He says, I'm calling it. He said, incels, MGTOW, any movement that men are trying to get away from the plantation, basically is what he was saying, is going to be, you're going to be deemed as SCE would say, a domestic teriyaki-ist.
Yeah. I think they've already got that in there since that January 6th situation happened. They aren't they already calling us that?
Yeah. Right. I tell you what, let's do this real time. Hey Siri. Oh, sorry, she's a dumb bitch sometimes. Hey Siri.
She doesn't speak Canadian.
What is MGTOW?
Okay, I found this on the web for what is MGTOW. Check it out.
Yeah, it literally has nothing to do with MGTOW. It's like some guy, Ralph McTellen.
MIG towing service?
You might get that.
I like
that would be a great freaking business name for a tow truck company. MIG towing.
Oh, I love it. That's good.
Men going their own way, anti-feminist, misogynistic, mostly online community, advanced for men, separating themselves
Toxic
from women and from society. They believe it has been corrupted by feminism, and they are right. You're right. They are right. But yeah, like you even Google search it, it's like all kinds of fucking hateful shit. All kinds of hateful shit. I'll tell you what, if you're logged into YouTube under your account, log out so that your search is brand new type of thing. Type in MGTOW into YouTube and you will find 900 pages basically pointing us out as everything under the sun that's evil.
Wow.
Everything.
I'm getting really tired of being accused and called everything under the sun. It's like, well, you want me to start acting like this? Keep pushing people.
Like I said, they create the monsters that they claim we are. You know what I mean? It's like when
deflection.
fathers,
anything that they want, they put it on you when they're really doing it.
Yeah.
So, like you were say, Butthole Flanders said what?
What did he say?
You were saying Saunders was saying something?
Me?
Yeah, I thought you said that before I so rudely interrupted you. I'm sorry.
No.
Oh.
No. Dude, it's literally linked in Wikipedia with all kinds of fucking hateful shit. All kinds of hateful shit.
Yeah, and anybody can go into Wikipedia and put anything you say in there. You don't think that the big services don't hire people to just sit there and edit stuff, or bots? I'm sure they do.
This person's comment was a group that has at least one member that digs the sound of his own voice so much that he can't stop talking. Okay, you know what? Maybe.
I was gonna say that Almost sounds like Chris Mitchell.
It almost sounds like my ass, man.
Oh, I know I don't usually have a whole lot to say, but thanks for letting me come hang out with you guys, man.
Are you bouncing there, Doug?
Yeah, I think I will. I'll hang out in the chat and just I don't really have anything else going on today. Just getting everything ready for work tomorrow.
Well, it was a pleasure meeting you, sir.
Hey, it was a pleasure meeting you too. Do you go by Mouth Agape Ape? Is that what I call you?
It's originally Mouth Agape Ape, but
Okay.
however, I'm not going to
pronounced it a
discriminate
different way.
against my Southern brothers.
Okay. Hey,
Hey,
thanks, Emperor.
no worries, brother. No worries. Yeah, no, we're the hateful ones. Yet, you know, that's the last thing we fucking generally promote. So it doesn't matter what these people say. It doesn't matter what we say. So,
I just want to be left alone. I just want to do my thing. I've got 10 years to go before I can retire.
mhm.
I can retire
Well,
at 60 with full benefits. So
my kid has his whole life in front of him. I just don't want him to go through the same fucking nightmare that I went through, because there was no winning when I went through it, and there's definitely going to be no winning when he goes through it.
yeah, I don't envy anybody that's trying to raise kids right now. And I work with a guy that just had his fourth son.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're all young. And I was like, oh, wow. I mean, super great family, good people. I wish them the best, but a kid right now, if a kid hits the ground right now, they have so much against them coming up. I'm glad I went to the public school system when I did back in, I started school in the late 70s and finished in 90. So 78 to 90, they weren't near as radical as they are now.
No, and radical is a fucking understatement.
Yeah. Violently radical.
They don't try to fucking hide nothing anymore. But
No.
the fact that people can look at it still and say, you know, oh, they're the bad guys, you know, or we agree with what they're fucking saying when they point out these other groups that are just like wanting to be left alone. They want the government out of their fucking lives and out of their bedrooms and out of their pockets and out of their fucking gun closet, right? That
Yeah.
somehow those are the bad people. You know what I mean? Because we won't fucking just lay down and literally lick the boot on our neck that somehow we're the bad people.
All right. And the schools around here, they have a few liberal minded teachers, but there's still quite a few that are more on the conservative side, and they're there to teach kids, but they're getting hamstrung too. And there's still enough parents around in this community. This is a rural farming community that if you do something really stupid, you're probably going to catch an ass kicking.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's understandable, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
we don't have the big city lifestyle here, but the more people that move into an area and come from other places that, the people are leaving. You can't even rent a one-way U-Haul in California. You got to rent them in another state to go drive them into California, because so many people are leaving California and Colorado. People are leaving Colorado in droves.
Yeah, well, they're leaving.
My dream was to retire in central Idaho. I can't even afford it now because everybody from Colorado and California moves up there and they sell their $850,000 house, but get cash for it, and then they go and buy a $150,000 house that in California would be $850,000. They pay cash for it and they get in bidding wars, and the people are like, they'd be stupid not to take the money. You're going to give me $100,000 more than I'm asking for my house? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, well, they go from these blue states that they've literally let Democrats destroy because that's all they can do, right? Like literally, we are seeing firsthand, real time, what Democrats / liberals can do with a fucking literally a hemisphere. You know what I mean? A whole hemisphere of a fucking planet. How bad they can fuck up by the numbers. Yet they will go to other states that are generally like, you know, Republican states or conservative, right? In our case, and they will
That's
fucking still vote liberal there because
and
they
there's
want that to be fucked up.
I saw some stuff about that because there people are leaving California and Nevada
Yeah.
and moving to Texas. Businesses, corporations are failing. And I saw an interview with some people, and they were talking about that. They had just recently moved there, and they said, "Well, everybody thinks we're bringing our politics with us." He said, "I didn't vote that way." He says, "I left California to go to Texas because I want to live in a free state."
Yeah, well, you'd be
So I
surprised how
think
many are.
some of the people are genuinely bailing because they can't, they don't want to deal with it because they get outvoted by 4 major cities in California.
Well, I encourage anyone that listens to this, if you are a more conservative person, not that I suggest you or recommend that you support the conservative party that we have
Republican.
now, not here in Canada, because none of them can be trusted either. But the East Coast loves their welfare system. They love the liberals. So let's just divide up the country and see who does better. So let's get all the fucking conservatives, all those conservatives / Republicans in your case, to move to the West Coast, and we'll export all the liberals to the fucking East Coast, and we'll see who does better.
Well, or you could make just the West Coast from Washington State, basically from Vancouver Island down to San Diego, and make it about 50 miles in from the ocean and make that a country. And then the rest of California and Oregon and Washington, because Washington's the same way. Everything, all the majority of the voting bloc, especially the ones that are going to vote for a D, are in Seattle, Tacoma, and Olympia. And that's all on the west side of the state. And that's the 3 biggest cities. The one I'm from is actually a lot more conservative. And the middle of the state is red.
Mm.
So you have a coast, it's just like the whole West Coast and the whole East Coast. You could make those 2 separate countries or make them divided as the same country. And then you could take the rest of the United States and see who does better. The only thing you'd be worried about is ports. You wouldn't want the wrong people in charge of your ports.
Well, that's what we have, ports on both sides. So like I said, divide it up halfway. You get a port on the east, we get a port on the west. A little different, right?
Yeah.
See who does better. Because literally liberal governments or liberal based governments, right? Like Democrats in the US, liberals here, of course, and stuff like that. Everywhere they go, they leave a fucking path of poverty and destruction. Everywhere.
Yep.
How do you not look back? Yeah, how do you not look back and see? Yeah, because they love welfare states.
Look when the welfare state came in. When was that? Lyndon Johnson?
Yeah, Lyndon Johnson for you guys.
And that thing that he said that, and I'm not going to say it on here because I don't want to get your stream shut down. But
no, go ahead.
Anybody that hasn't ever heard that, look up Lyndon Johnson talking about welfare, and he was on the phone talking to somebody, and he basically said, if we get this going, we'll have these blank people voting for us for the next 200 years.
Oh, was this for the black people?
Yeah.
Oh. Now they just realize that, hey, white women are just as easily indoctrinated. Mexican women are just as easily indoctrinated. So really, they just dropped the color barrier. Now, of course, they still push the black racism, right? They still push that, obviously.
Well, and they wanted to get the black man out of the family. That's why, in my opinion, I've watched a lot of stuff on that. They wanted the black man out of the household. We'll give you welfare. We'll give you money. We'll pay your rent. We'll buy your food. But you can't have the father of these kids living in this home.
Yeah. Well, that's what they do. Like,
yeah.
It's
And that way
really
you're
shitty because
you're emboldened to them,
that I know I've mentioned her before, that Ava Brighton and that documentary she was doing. It sucks that it's not coming out and nobody knows where the fuck she is. But that documentary looked like just the 3 or 4 minute commercial that she had for it. Like, it fucking went straight to the fucking jugular of these systems that are in line to keep fathers away from children, and it's all done for money, right? So I don't know. Personally, I don't know what's going on with her, or if she's been fucking murdered or whatever the case may be, but it would be nice to fucking see her come back and actually launch that thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And the government's not going to be of any help.
No, they probably are the ones that fucking ghosted her ass.
Yeah.
You have to remember, she's living in Spain. The place where, if you laugh at a woman for something stupid she said, you go to jail.
Oh yeah, it's getting to the point. Australia, if you put out a mean tweet, the cops show up at your door.
Yeah.
And I think England's the same way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Manly Load and Billy the Goat, they're over in that area. They've told us some fucking absolute horror stories, man. I don't know when Manly's going to get it finished, but when he comes out with the 4 Horsemen stuff, you guys are going to want to fucking check that out, because a lot of that is mentioned on there, and it's going to platforms that are not censored. So we didn't hold back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
well, it's like I like seeing alt tech being used, because they're going to shut this down. And if people don't, I'll put the old tinfoil hat on again. If people don't think that there isn't an internet kill switch where they could shut it off, China had it, Russia has it. There's no North Korea, nobody can find, you can't get on an internet in North Korea. But if they don't think that there isn't a kill switch, that if the balloon goes up and this country basically turns into the wild, wild west, people aren't going to know about it. They'll know about it, immediately. But the news, if there's any news, it'll be all what they want you to know. But you won't be able to get on Facebook. You won't be able to get on anything. They'll press a button and the whole internet will shut down and you won't be able to call. Everybody has a cell phone. You're going to cut down all the cellular service too?
Yeah.
They could do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're already doing it.
That would be so people couldn't gather. People couldn't form groups like mutual aid groups that would help each other out. They don't want you to, roll up with 100 of your homeboys and start some shit.
That they have admitted that. They have admitted that. That's why they have so much bullshit right now to divide us. Everything from BLM to fucking Antifa groups to, transgender issues to fucking every other issue out there. All of that is used to divide us and keep us fighting amongst ourselves.
And distractions.
And it's distractions. That's it. That's it.
Yep.
They put their fucking things in place. They, get their group together. They, recruit for it to be the people to be their enforcers, right? And if you think for a second that they wouldn't ask, because I mean, it's one thing to ask somebody to, oppress the citizens of his own country. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing to take somebody from British Columbia and take them all the way over to Labrador and say, okay, we need you to fucking, get these people under wraps because they're all up in arms, and if you have to put them down, blah blah blah. That's one thing in itself, because they're their own countrymen as well. right? Despite
Yeah.
being from a different province. But now to bring over
Yeah, you're not
troops
going to
from
shit. You're not going to shit in your own backyard.
yeah, but to bring over troops from China or somewhere like that and say, okay, now we need you to put them down in our name, no problem.
I've I've thought personally that if the UN was ever going to basically invade the United States, it would be with German and French troops,
Why not?
because that they've already controlled them. Those countries are already broken.
Oh yeah.
So you send a bunch of blue helmets over with rifles and say, we're ordering you to confiscate weapons. We're ordering you to kill these people.
Hmm.
They don't give a crap about you. You don't even speak a common language.
Well, dude, and I mean, even right now, our own police don't fucking have a problem doing that, right? They
Yeah.
don't have a problem going so far. And if you start lashing out at them, they're going to have no choice but to defend themselves, right?
Well, you
Um,
got to figure it out. In the United States of America, I think there's, what is it, 200,000 sworn peace officers,
mm,
I think,
yeah,
something like that.
that's these are kind
There's like
of
26. There's 9,000 people in my town, and there's 26 cops and 6 sheriff's deputies. That's the odds are not good.
well, we have as of 2019, there was 100,417 active sworn in police officers in Canada.
So you've got 35 million people,
38, roughly.
38 million, and you have
Yeah.
100 and some odd thousand cops.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's quite a bit more for population
I
size.
don't. Well, I don't know. Look up how many police are in America.
Yeah,
That might be
38
400.
million in Canada.
Yeah, and we
But
have
see,
338 million.
yeah, but see the thing is these numbers on population, these aren't citizens. These are like immigrants. That's why the number's going up. It's all
Oh
about
yeah,
immigrants.
yeah. They say there's 35, 38 million people in California. I would say there's probably 48 to 50 million people in California. You're not counting the people that are pouring across our southern border, like
Yeah.
going through a sieve.
Yeah, plus I mean we bring in fucking tons of immigrants, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let's see. It says here that the law enforcement of the U.S. there are more than 900,000
Oh wow.
sworn in law enforcement.
So almost a million
Yeah,
out
and
of
when
330 odd million.
yeah, either way, like the numbers aren't working in their favor.
Right.
Obviously.
You're looking at 33 people per cop.
Yeah, that's some bad odds, motherfucker. Even with a disarmed population, those are all some bad odds. The thing
Well,
is,
all
though,
these people in New Zealand and Australia and all these places where their firearms are extremely restricted.
mhm.
They'll say, I can't get a gun. With a stick or a rock, you could get a gun. They'll magically turn into a handgun.
What's that? A stick or a rock?
A stick or a rock can magically turn into a handgun if it meets the right person.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You
Well,
you can procure them with a stick or a rock.
yeah. I mean,
I lost all my sticks and rocks in boating accidents, though.
I call them freedom seats, and
Mm-hmm.
the PPUs are the planters of freedom seats. So, yeah. Well, you look at other places where this has already happened, right? Places that have
Yeah.
been taken over by Nazi regimes. I mean, yeah, okay, they disarmed the population, right? They said that they were taking over. They moved in a bunch of fucking soldiers and stuff to start, putting the boots to the people and keeping control of the town. Yet they lost because behind every fucking alley in every fucking basement, there was somebody with a dagger about to fucking drive it into the back of one of their fucking necks, right? And oh yeah, if
Oh,
they get, if they found dead bodies of officers or something, somebody was going to be taken out into the square and shot, right?
mhm.
Or hanged, or whatever the case may be. Maybe a group of them. They bust open every door, but it still fucking went on. The next
Yeah.
day, one of their other officers got a dagger to the fucking back of the neck, right?
Yeah.
You're never going to ban all fucking weapons. And if I ain't got a gun, I'll use a knife. If I ain't got a knife, I'll use a stick. If I can't find a stick, I'll use a rock. If I can't find a rock, I'll use a brick. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Well,
Anything.
they're good at planting bricks around for riots and stuff. You'll just go to the street corner, there'll be a pallet of bricks magically appear there.
Yeah, no, they totally weren't bought by the BLM groups, and then the government officials totally didn't let that happen. Totally not.
Yeah.
Why can't
Yeah.
I take in $10 billion? Guys, why are you guys not donating $10 billion to me so I can start my own fucking group? What's going on here?
You would just blow it on mansions and four-wheelers and stuff like that.
Yeah, they'd be four-wheelers dressed up just like Indy's lawnmower with freedom seeds all around.
Yeah.
Some in freedom pods.
The little mobile anti-teriyaki units rolling around.
Oh, dude. To think we're not going to see that, you got to be fucking like absolutely out of your goddamn mind. It's happening, homie. It is happening.
I have told people that I've known for years, and everybody says, "Oh, you're just paranoid, or you don't know what you're talking about." I told them, I said, in our lifetime, there is going to be a race war, and that's what they've been going for. And I said, and I said the blacks and Hispanics, a lot of the times they don't like each other, but they may form a bond because of their perceived slight. They've been slighted by, the white people.
The WAP
And
man.
I said that, yeah, the white supreme pizzas. But I said also that the Asians and the whites would form together. And people say, "Oh, no, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do that." Well, now you look at these hate crimes that are being done against Asians. They're putting Asians in the same boat as white people, and they're saying that an Asian gets beat up or brutally brutalized, and they're saying it's because they're white supremacists.
Yeah, well, we've just seen
They've already divvied up the sides. They've divvied up the sides. They're just trying to cook the war off. And I ask people, something stupid will happen, and I'll say, "Hey, you remember me talking about this a couple years ago? Like I told you so moment," and they'll just look at you and just shake their head, like they can't believe it. And I'm not the smartest guy that ever come down the pike, but I'm not the dumbest guy that ever come down the way either.
Maddie, where are you from again? Are you from the England kind of area or Australia? I can't remember. But yeah.
You had to have a license to shoot plastic pellets like an airsoft gun?
Dude, they're trying to ban those here too.
Oh, I saw all that. Yeah.
I just can't remember where Maddie is. I know he did tell us once. I just can't remember.
I wanted to say he was in England, but
they all knew. They all knew kung fu. That's racist.
They all. Everybody was kung fu fighting, huh?
Yeah. No, like we've seen them like brutal attacks of people being pushed in the fucking oncoming trains and everything. Black people pushing Asian people or beating them or stabbing them. Oh, that's no problem. That's not a race thing. But we all know that that's been going on between them for decades.
Well, I think we were talking
each
about
other
that last night on Scotty's stream, where that that guy shot the 3 Asians in that nail place or hairdressing place.
When was this?
Oh, a few weeks back, I believe he shot three women, and he was delusional and had a thing that he was under the delusion that the Asians were trying to get him, and he had gotten into a vehicle accident with an Asian a while back, and then he just went off the rocker, and they think he had shot at several different people over a course of days, and then he went into I believe it was a nail salon, and it had 3 Asian women working in it, and he shot them. And I don't think he killed any. I think he was shooting them with a 22, because if you had used it, I think it was a AR 22 or 22 rifle that was patterned after an AR.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing he didn't use 9mm, because it would have blown their lungs out of them.
Yeah, the most dangerous round in the world.
Right.
Right.
I'd rather get hit with a 50 BMG than a 9mm. I heard they'll blow your lungs right out of you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they have, legendary stories of people being split in half with a 50 BMG, but I mean, how realistic
That ain't nothing
is
to get
that?
your lungs blown out.
Yeah, how realistic is that? I mean, come on now. We've got tons of pictures of 9mm blowing the lungs out of people. Tons.
I worked with a guy that was in the Army, and he was on what do they call it? Is it an MRAP?
MRAD, yeah.
Anyways, it had an automated 50 caliber machine gun, and he says you can blow a person in half with a 50 caliber.
That's a myth. That's a myth. 9mm, dude.
Yeah.
It was 9mm.
I'm gonna have to get a hold of him and say, I can't believe you lied to me.
Yeah. Clearly it was 9mm. You don't even know your arsenal, fucking saying it's 50 cal.
Sleepy Joe told me the truth, you liar.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Let's fucking run that. Let's run that over a bit. Look at all the crazy shit they've said in the last fucking 3 years. And I mean downright crazy shit. Like fucking 9mm blowing your lungs out and fucking more dangerous than fucking anything else under the sun. Like, stupid shit like that is literally fucking said on a daily goddamn basis.
And then they don't backtrack it. When it gets proven wrong, they don't put a retraction in there. They just let it, like water off a duck's back, just go to the next lie.
Go to the next lie. Like, they've told so many lies, they can't even fucking make up any new ones. They just have to come out with the craziest shit, and it's still fucking going around.
Or they just regurgitate something they said a couple years ago and just put a different spin on it.
Well, how long do you think it'll be before some average Joe Schmo fucking leftist will say and repeat that goddamn sentence that a 9mm can blow the lungs right out of your back? It's more dangerous than anything else out there. How long do you think it'll be?
Tweeted thousands of times.
You fucking know it has. You know it has. That's the level of insanity we fucking live in. If I told you there's a fucking purple one-eyed people eater fucking living in my fucking attic, as long as I was a Democrat, somebody's going to believe it. Somebody's going to believe it. You fucking know they will. And they'll repeat it. Be like, fuck, there's this guy out in BC who's got a purple one-eyed people eater in his attic. They're real.
Well, if you'd have told me you had a purple-headed one-eyed wonder in your pants, I'd say, you probably do.
Yeah, probably. Oh, Brother Brandon.
Howdy.
Welcome to the Tinfoil Hat Club. Because,
and me without my chicken and a biscuits. Damn it.
Yeah, me too.
Good. A fat bastard can't eat those.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I would.
Yeah, we don't have any, you fuckers. Fuck off. All right.
That's right. They cost more than 10 gallons of gas in Canada.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God, dude.
That's how you know you got quality food.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, when they boycott Canada.
There's got to be something.
So what's new there, Brandon?
Oh, I'm up visiting my parents this weekend.
I was going to say your tent looks very comfortable.
It looks really nice.
Yeah, the parents got a nice place.
Perfect.
Do they live a long ways from you?
They live up in Kansas City.
Oh, yeah. If ever there's a place that you would need a gun, that would be one of them. And that doesn't matter if you're in Kansas City, Kansas, or Kansas City, Missouri.
Well, I should say they live in Overland Park, but
Been there many times.
I don't
you
care.
don't really need. Don't really need a gun here.
Well, I don't care if you don't need a gun. You should still have one.
Not saying Dad doesn't have a few.
Can I borrow some? They're going to become
Yeah, the
hot
old man-
commodities.
The old man is packing quite a bit of heat. So
Did you guys see that comment that Hemi put on Dak's video, those shirts that I mailed up to Dak?
no, I didn't
Did you
see
see
Hemi's comment.
He's like, did you wrap the pew-pews in that? I was like, I'll never tell.
Hey, man, if anybody's getting sent some hardware, you better be sending some to me.
I'll never tell.
For educational purposes, obviously. Educational purposes.
Right.
Demonstration purposes only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm an educator here, okay? Yeah. I don't care where the fuck you are. You need to be able to have one just in case. I don't care if you open your goddamn soda cans with it.
Well, and they're talking about all these European countries, they don't have guns and their crime is so down. And then they bring up like Switzerland. Isn't it required that everybody serves in the military in Switzerland, and everybody in Switzerland has a rifle that was issued to them
Yes.
when they were in the military, and you
Yes.
keep that rifle in your house?
Yes.
And you have the
Yes.
option to buy it when you get out of the service.
Yeah. You either serve
Yeah,
so
I
long
still
and you
have.
get
I
it
have
for-
relatives in Switzerland, and they've got their they when my I guess he's like fourth cousin or something like that. When he retired from the military, he kept his gun.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
thought that there was actually a regulation where you had to have some type of a firearm in your home.
I don't think it's required that you have to have one, but they are encouraged to have one. And yes, all the military, all the ones that serve in the military are allowed to take their service.
Yeah, if you're
rifle
serving in the
with them.
military, you've got to keep your gun with you.
Yeah. How much, guys? Donate to the emperor. I'm moving to Switzerland.
Well, they've got
He'd
some
make-
other fucked up laws there in Switzerland, though. Like
He would.
it's illegal to take a shower after dark.
A small price to pay. Small price to pay, guys.
A little stinky Canadian, maybe.
Yeah, no, I mean I can smear on some maple syrup and fucking make it through the night.
Okay.
Get up in the morning and shower. It's all good.
You know what happened to Mitchell though if he went to Switzerland? Some little blonde hair, blue eyed chickie would put a couple of marshmallows in his hot chocolate. He'd fall in love.
Yeah, probably.
Well, I haven't posted my video today, so here's your dad joke of the day. I don't know about Switzerland. I don't know much about Switzerland, but the flag's a big plus.
Oh.
Oh, that's fucking good. Oh, that's fucking funny, dude. That's fucking funny.
I think Elm Street Nasty put out a deal today, a couple hours ago, and it was about a Florida man and Florida woman. She was giving him oral sex, and he wrecked into a FedEx van, and she almost bit his penis off, and that was the story. And it shows this lady laying out on the highway, and the FedEx van and this dude's truck vehicle are smacked together. You should have seen the comments. I put one in there that said, "That's no way to get ahead in this world." But
hey,
there were hundreds of comments on there.
Yeah, she took a bite out of crime.
I'm looking up Switzerland's gun laws right now. It does allow for the acquisition of semi-automatic firearms, plus with many issue permits, you can have fully automatic firearms with Switzerland's citizens or foreigners with or without permanent residence. So even as a foreigner not trying to immigrate there, I could still get the permit to own a firearm. Fucking Switzerland, here we go, baby.
Yeah, it might be a little tougher. They might say there's permits available, but if it's a shall issue or not, that would be
it doesn't matter. If the country's good enough, I'll just be like, please take me.
I like Switzerland's immigration policy.
They don't have
yeah. If you go there and you want to live there, your neighbors get to vote whether or not you can stay after a certain amount of time.
Really?
Oh, you'd be screwed.
No, he's an asshole. Send him home. Or
dude,
yeah, he's a good guy. Keep him.
Think about it. Like, this must be the friendliest place in the world. Everybody's armed, and everybody gets to fucking decide if you get to stay.
Yeah.
And they have hundreds of billions of dollars in dirty money.
And they have hundreds of billions of dollars in dirty money. Because,
they've had for years.
Everybody put their money because nobody could invade them.
Yep.
This sounds sweeter and sweeter. Hey, here we go. Immigration declaration form. I'm going to start filling it out.
Boy, that's going to really put a damper on your live streams because you're going to have to figure out how to talk to all of us.
He'll get with Single Town Bachelor. And
yeah, I'm simping for Switzerland. Let's go. What's their language?
Well, that's the thing. In Switzerland, they have 4 languages. They speak German, they speak French, they speak Italian, and they speak one other, and I can't remember it.
Well, yeah, and it's three out of those.
A mix-up, isn't it?
3 out of those I don't speak at all, nor do I think I can ever speak. So I'm fucked. Hopefully, English is one.
Well, I can teach you a little German.
They do, but
repeat after me, Chris. Holds them and keeps them from flopping.
I don't trust you to teach me another language because you'll teach me shit that'll get me arrested.
He just taught you how to say bra.
See? God.
Well, come on.
Jockstrap. I don't know. I lost it in the translation.
Let's just bra. And let's test Ape's German as a Schlaben me Nabend.
Yeah, that you don't want to do that and hit a FedEx truck.
No.
That even sounds nasty. It's like something I would say if I didn't want to say suck my dick. So they speak German, or French, Italian, and Romish.
The French version would be sucks a bone.
I'm assuming the Romish is kind of like the blend or something.
I don't know.
Yeah, because that's actually, I think it's kind of a mixed language. And you might even have some, is it Czech or Slavic in there?
Maybe.
With that one?
I don't know.
Maybe Hungarian.
Either way, they can all make good food. They got guns, and
because they're pretty close to Vienna.
Oh.
And they put marshmallows in their cocoa. You've had Swiss Miss cocoa, haven't you, there, Mitchell? Or is that another unobtainium item?
What, cocoa?
Yeah, Swiss Miss with the marshmallows in it.
Oh, I have no idea.
Instant hot chocolate.
Is the home check out sources. So they're like fucking Nazis as well with your children?
No.
Well,
they might be. I have no idea what they do with children. I do know that they're big time feminists these days.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I believe they're very anti-religion, or not a very religious.
Oh no, they're huge Catholics.
Are they?
Yeah, the Swiss
What was
Guard.
that? What was that
Guards the
guy's
Pope.
deal that said they Satanists?
Well,
they got
maybe they have
November.
Satanists there too. You know, they got Catholics.
Yin and
Manly
yang.
Sorry about that. Manly might have to come in and explain that one.
Yeah.
But,
He knows all about that stuff.
So, Brandon, are we
Well-
going to have to listen to a different dad joke now that you dropped this bomb on us?
Oh no, I'm not going to be posting any dad jokes this weekend.
Oh, wow. We're so lucky.
No,
Yeah,
like I
but it's
said,
really funny. I've got two jokes that must have made the algorithm, because I've got, I normally get maybe 40, 50 people watch my videos. And then I've got two jokes that are over 2,000.
Holy. Well, I know I put my 2 cents in on every one of them that I see, but
Yeah. I still don't even have 100 followers, so fuck it.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Brother James Bond Maxwell is on.
Hey, shall we do a raid on the hamster?
Let's go see what he's got to say. Who the fuck knows? Let me reset that. YouTube. Where are you, James? Where are you? Oh, there he is.
I'd love to meet him sometime, but I'm sure he would fall in love with this beautiful red pelt right here, and I just can't have that.
Oh,
Isn't
he's
that
going
nice?
off on the
guys?
Femmies. That's good.
Chris Mitchell, the Canadian, is here. Hello.
Hello.
Continue before we talk about the chat. Okay.
So, with the misconceptions, where do these misconceptions come from?
All right. Where do they come from?
Oh, it's-
Where do they come from?
so,
Tell us, you hamster.
these misconceptions usually come from
Wait a minute, though. We're starting from the premise that these things that we can see with our eyeballs that are actually real, feminists screaming about whatever,
Mm-hmm.
are misconceptions.
I don't think they're misconceptions.
Starting with that premise.
What do you guys think? Big Red is not a
throwing around the
misconception.
word sexist.
Now, dear Andrea, maybe as part of your speech, you should make a point.
Yes, Manly. The Catholic Church loves children.
And so nowadays, especially on
A
social
lot.
media,
Mhm.
the word
Uh-huh.
sexist is thrown around in
Hey, Manly, what kind of meat do priests eat on Friday?
insignificant situations
I don't know what kind.
None.
Okay.
where people completely ignore or diminish the strong meaning of this word.
Oh my god.
So,
Oh my god.
again, come up with something that people would say, shake your head. Yeah.
Ugh.
Okay.
And so
And then, dear Andrea, go off into
Dear
La La
Andrea.
Land. Continue.
some
Hamster's
women
great. I love him.
who
Oh,
consider
yeah, no,
themselves
he's
No
the best.
homo.
But they're not really.
One of the true OGs, man.
After all, that's not real feminism. Don't you know, evil hamster?
take an insignificant action, such as a
Gentlemen, I have
man
to shut
entering a
this down
building
here pretty
before a
soon. I've been going on there
Yeah,
for
woman,
3
not
hours.
holding the door open for her.
That's fine. Chris, I got to bounce anyways.
All right, brother. Well,
Bye-bye.
go check out Mr. Hamster, and maybe we'll go get together a little later tonight. Father Saunders might do something. Who knows?
Yeah, I tried to get on his last night, but at 10 o'clock, it's 11 o'clock his time, and I was on there for about 20 minutes, and I had to shut her down and get up at dark and early.
Yeah, no, it got crazy when I was on. It was
Oh,
great.
really?
Yeah. I was like, oh, my head can't take it. All the screaming.
I I stopped right after he made his Long Island iced tea, and I thought, well, it's going to get pretty Western here in a bit.
Yeah. No, when the guys get liquored, they get rowdy. That's why I got to
Yeah.
get all you guys up here for a big meetup, get you all drunk, and then, just throw some guns on the ground. Be like, hey, guys, let's go on tour.
Well, let's be civilized about it. Let's do boxing gloves.
No. That's not effective. We have to take over the country. Dude,
For the other people, I thought you meant to use on each other.
No. We're not doing a survival of the fittest yet. That comes later. But no, we gotta, we gotta take out some Nazis.
That comes when the last can of Alpo's being fought over.
Yeah, peppermint schnapps. Everybody's gonna be fighting over where the peppermint schnapps is. Just like that.
All right,
episode
guys,
of
I'm gonna.
Hey,
I'm
have
gonna
you guys
get
ever
off here.
tried? This is my favorite winter drink of all times. Is hot chocolate and peppermint schnapps.
I actually haven't tried peppermint schnapps, but I imagine it's pretty good.
It's fucking awesome.
You can't get it up there, Chris.
Probably
It's
not.
$96 a litre up there.
Oh, well, fuck me. You're an asshole.
All right, guys, we'll talk to you later.
All right,
Later.
brother. Thanks for coming.
Thanks,
Thank
Chris.
you.
Bye bye.
Bye, guys. All right, I'm going to shut this show down. I want to thank everybody for coming as usual, donating, blah, 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 all that. And hopefully we'll get together tonight and have another chat. Maybe we'll have a hell of a lot more people on, but we'll probably do an open thing again. So we will talk to you guys then. Good night for now.